Okie dokie, I believe we are all the way live. Hello and welcome to my graveyard. I am your host of the evening, the Cemetery Man from Salem, Mass. Always taking names and kicking candy ass, live and in living color, here with you only on the graveyard. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are live and in living color tonight. It is volume numero trace. Yes, and you know what they say, the third time is the charm. The third time tonight is not in 3D. However, tonight, it is the return after almost a year wait of underrated versus overrated horror. Yes, ladies and gents, we have 5 wonderful films. We have 5 films that are overrated, and some of them smell like shit. And this toilet bowl of bag and fuck here, it smells and stinks of shit. So it's only fitting that tonight on Grande's Graveyard, we weed out the bad and we praise the good and underrated, the movies that deserve, in my opinion, to be talked about more. So I'm very excited to have you all in the house here tonight. This is one of my favorite shows to do. And actually, when I took a poll of people's favorite episodes of the show or favorite show concepts, people seem to love the overrated versus underrated horror show. So here we are, live and in the color. This is volume number 3. I'd like to do this more than just once a year. I seem to do it. It's been pretty systematic. It's been once a year. I think the other 2 were in March, and today is leap day, so it would be March 1st if not for a leap year. But I like doing this show, and if people want to see this more, just let me know, and I would be happy to think of these. Granted, these are not easy shows to do for me, but I'm very excited to get into these. So let's get to the comments. Let's see how y'all are doing in Grande's Graveyard View. Ciao, Grande and friends. Throwing the pink hand. We got the pink banner here tonight, Miss C. Hope all is well with you, my friend. James Abernathy's in the house. Hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. James Abernathy. Hope all is well with you. We got Mateo is here. Ciao, Grande. Love this format. Usually gets us good rants. Hi to all the Graveyardians. Yeah, I'm assuming I'm assuming there might be a very small population that really is interested in what is in the cup. Like, what's in the cup? What's in the cup? Because you want to hear these underrated horror movies, hopefully that you've never heard of, and check out and end up saying, wow, that's a hidden gem that I never heard of. That's a hidden gem that I've always wanted to see. And then, of course, I think with this, the trash bag of fuck here, the trash bag of shit, if you will, people just enjoy to see me blow a gasket like I did with the Stephen King shit rant. People seem to love that, and the Scooby-Dooby douchebag. So, hey, man, whatever makes people happy. We got Matt June here saying Scream 5. Well, Scream 5 is overrated, and we've already ranted on that one. That one's got like 2,000 views of me shitting on that movie. So, go figure. I'm full on expecting at least one Grande rant. You're going to get at least 2, because 2 of these movies I absolutely fucking hate. And you might get more. I don't know. It depends, man. Neon Black Reviews is in the house. Hey, guys. What's going on? Good brother Neon. Hope all is well with you. Hola, Grande. ¿Cómo estás? Yo estoy muy bien. ¿Y tú, señor? Texas THC 1965 is in the house. Hope all is well with you, buddy. We got people saying hi to one another. And yeah, so without further ado, I guess we'll start this show off hot, right? As I see Anthony checks in. Fever Dreamland Theater is in the house. Anthony, hope all is well with you, buddy. I think you were here last time. What's up, bro? Nothing much, my friend. I know you hosted the 3rd annual Rubber Duckies Award, and I actually presented an award on that. If anyone did not check that show out, Anthony and his buddies over at, you can feel free to link the channel, Anthony. I forget the name of the channel, but they did their award show, and I actually awarded the Best Supporting Actor Award. I presented that award for them. So that was pretty cool. Very cool people, and it was a very nice little show. The Monkey's in the house. Grande, thoughts on if the remake of The Fog is underrated? I prefer it over the original and The Mist. The Monkey, no. The Fog remake is a piece of monkey shit. No pun intended that you're the monkey. But it is a piece of monkey shit, in my opinion. And I think saying it's better than the original and The Mist is pretty crazy. But hey, to each their own. I kind of hate the Fog remake. I think that's a gigantic piece of shit. And I know if the good brother Tom, Undead of Night, checks in, he might have a brain aneurysm when he reads that comment. And that might be funny and worth a rant of itself. But we will leave that there. And I think we should start this show off hot. So everybody, cheers to a safe, happy, healthy weekend. I've got the old agua tonight. So cheers, everybody. And we're going to get right underway with this son of a bitch. So the fun thing is, with screen sharing, I don't know which movie I'm going to pull out of the bag of shit or the cup of fun. I don't know. So it may take me a little bit to share a screen, give you a little bit of a visual, but we're going to dive our hands right in. Oh, no. Here we go. What's coming out first? Here we go. All right. So we're not starting the show off too hot. This is, of the bag of shit, probably the one I could stand the most. And this is a movie that came out last year. This is Terrifier 2. I don't want to fuck up the camera here because if I do that, it might, mess with the ebb and flow and make me all blurry and shit like that. So let me share a screen here so you guys can see the little bit of a visual here and we'll get underway. Yes, Terrifier 2, which came out last year. Now, I know a lot of people really love this movie, and a lot of people say it was a big improvement over the first film. And I know that the movie was made on a micro budget of just $250,000 and grossed, I believe, 8 figures. I don't know how deep into 8 figures that it got, but it was a big financial hit. And I actually did go to see this in the theater. I was a fan of the first Terrifier movie. I thought it was a good, like, midnight modern day slasher movie. And I was all for a sequel. I was like, okay, hey, man, the first movie, it got it. It was simple. It was effective. It was short. It was eerie in the way it had to be eerie. It was gory where it had to be gory. In my opinion, what Dominic Leone did was he kind of took the old school tropes of a Ryan Nicholson, may he rest in peace, of a Robert Hall, may he rest in peace, movies like Laid to Rest, movies like Gutterballs, and he kind of took what they were doing and somehow brought it to the mainstream because, in my opinion, and unfortunately, Chrome Skull did not become a horror icon. However, Art the Clown here did. Art the Clown over, All Hallows Eve and Terrifier and all of these movies where Art the Clown kind of showed up. The Terrifier movies kind of garnered a cult following and Art became a horror icon overnight, it felt like, and people were flocking to the theater to see a movie that was made on a micro budget. And then, of course, kind of garnered word of mouth and people went to go see it. And I was one of those people. I went to the theater a few weeks into its run. I went with a big group of people. The crowd loved it. The crowd ate it up. And I had tremendous issues with it. I really, really had tremendous issues with it. Now, again, I did like the first movie. I thought the first movie was fine. 80-minute slasher movie. They shot it not far from where I'm at. It was shot, a lot of it was shot in Brooklyn. I mean, there were the pizzeria. I've been to that pizzeria in the first Terrifier. I'm like, holy shit, I've been there. I've taken a shit in that bathroom where he kills the pizza owner or whatever, that actor. I was like, wow, the first Terrifier I thought worked. It was small, but it was effective. It made a lot out of nothing. Whereas the second one, I had tremendous issues. Number one, why is this movie almost 2.5 fucking hours long? It's abnormal for a slasher movie to be 2.5 hours long. It's almost like he made the first one and then just said, fuck it, I'm going to try to make the Ben-Hur of slasher movies. And like, that's all well and good. And I think that's ambitious and I appreciate his ambition. But to me, this is overkill and literal overkill. Everybody in the movie, when they are killed, they are overkilled. Like there's this one woman who greets Art at the door and he fucking goes on to scalp her, cut her arms off, pour salt in her wounds. And people in the theater were laughing, and it's over. People love Art. They eat this shit up like the mashed potatoes that he throws in the face of the mother's face that he blew off in this movie. I mean, people love Art. It's over. It's a big deal. He has become an icon. He's at every convention. The final girl in this, who I didn't think was much of anything, I can't even think of her damn name, and her weird brother with the giant T-Rex neck. I didn't give a shit about either one of them. I really did not care for the characters in the movie. And I don't know, whereas the first movie I felt did all the little things right. This movie did all the big things wrong, and I felt that it was just kind of gratuitous just for a laugh. And I felt that the first movie really had that midnight eerie horror movie tone where, yeah, there were some laughs in there, dark laughs, dark humorous laughs. But when it had to be scary, I thought the first movie worked that way. I thought it was uneasy. I thought it worked in what it was trying to do. This movie, though, it's just so blasphemous to me. I think it's just they pushed it way too far, almost to the point where they pushed it so far it fell off the fucking cliff and fell flat on its fucking face. And I look no further than the finale of this movie, where it literally feels like a bad episode of fucking Xena the Princess Warrior, or fucking, just a really, really, really bad fucking episode of TV, man. I just could not get into the ending of this. Almost felt like a bad King Arthur spoof where he drowns this woman, ties her up by her leg. She can't crawl out. Then by this power of this mythical sword, flies out of the water, kills Art, leaves him nothing. And then we get this weird scene in an asylum where Chris Jericho, that Chris Jericho, the wrestler, one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. Granted, I know he's in kind of controversy right now over shit. So, I mean, hopefully that's not true. And, I do hope that's not true. But if it is, screw him. He shows up in the movie and then he's talking about his wife's baked goods. And all of a sudden, a woman in the asylum who he was a victim in the first movie gives birth to Art's head. And people in the theater were cheering. I mean, all that was missing was them throwing popcorn and confetti in the air. I mean, it was an electric movie theater experience. Everybody was loving to love Art. They loved the flashback dream sequences where Art was on the cereal box and, kids were eating the cereal and their eyes were glowing and they were bleeding out of their mouths and stuff. I don't know what it is that people love about the over gratuitous of this type of horror because it was being done 10, 15 years ago and probably 10, 15 years before that, and it never seemed to garner any cult following. I don't know. I would assume that the reason it's over is because of Art. I think that's why people come to see these movies. I really do believe that they just see an icon in Art and have really gotten behind Art the Killer Clown. And hey, that's great. That's great that there's a new horror icon. I'm all the power to it. I just think I look at a movie that Laid to Rest that I think is just as good, if not better. Especially in the horror department, I think it's a better movie. And it definitely it delivers on the gore, it delivers on the kills, X, Y, and Z. But for whatever reason, I don't know. I just didn't think this worked. I really didn't. I thought this was just so overkill. I really, really did not care for Terrifier 2. I thought this was a really overrated movie. Now, I mean, to be honest, though, compared to some of the shit in here, it's definitely the least of the offenders. So let's get to some comments. Let's see what you guys have to say about this one. I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say here. So let's see. Scream 7, hello, Grande. Which of my franchise do you consider the most underrated and overrated? Scream 3 is by far the most underrated. Scream 5 or Scream Dicks is the most over. I think Scream 5 and Scream Dicks are a part of the worst movies ever made. So yeah, probably part 5 because I will never understand why one person liked that movie, let alone the amount of fucking people that did. So that's my opinion on that. Scream 7. Hope all is well with you. Terrifier movies are for people who like the band Mushroom Head. Alpha's here. What's up, Grande? That is quite an entrance, my friend. How are you, buddy? By the way, can I please have a 3XL Grande's Graveyard shirt? Yeah, Anthony, the thing with that is I only have one and I have 2 people that ordered. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll talk with the other person and we'll see what we can work out. So I only have one left. So I apologize about that. I'll get to the bottom of it, though. I've just started to ship those out very sparingly. I'm doing 2 a weekend because if I do them all at once, I'll be out of some good bread. So we'll get to there. We'll get there. We'll talk about it. I'll talk to the other person. We'll see, buddy. The first one was goodish. The second was way too much for me. Yeah, I agree with that. And don't get me wrong. I'm not. I know that people probably think, oh, you're jaded. This is the new popular thing. It's a new franchise. It's not a rehash. It's not a remake. It's not this, that, or the other. And I will say I do appreciate that it's that. I do appreciate that it's not just another fucking remake or Halloween sequel. I do appreciate that. But at the same time, I just feel like they blew their load too much in this movie. And again, it has the classic direct-to-video stuff of, oh, we'll put Felicia Rose in the movie. We can market Felicia Rose. Oh, we have Chris Jericho in our movie. When they're really in the movie for a combined 4 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe. Combine those 2 people. It does those classic direct-to-video fucking tropes. Granted, this movie did get the theatrical run, and it did damn well. So, I mean, good for this movie. It's totally fine. But I don't know. I felt it was too much to the point where it almost felt satirical of what the first movie had accomplished. I thought what the first movie accomplished was a successful midnight horror movie, a movie that you go to at midnight with friends. I mean, maybe at a drive-in. Granted, there's not much drive-ins. There's no drive-ins by me anymore, but maybe at a drive-in or whatever, and you could just kind of immerse yourself for a very short period of time. 80 minutes, you're in, you're out, you're terrified, if you will, and you go home. This was more of a comedy. I totally felt this more of a splat stick movie as opposed to a slasher movie. And I know, oh, you didn't have enough slashing in it? Yes, it was so much slashing in it that it became befuddling. It kind of became a parody of itself. I think there is a line. And I think they kind of crossed it and then crossed it again. I feel like that's almost the whole point of this. And hey, if you are a fan of these movies, I don't mean any disrespect. If you want to come to bat for it, that's what the comments are for. Please tell me I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why these movies should become even more gratuitous when it gets to Terrifier 3 later this year, and why Dominic Leone is the next face of the genre. Tell me, go ahead. Feel free. That's what the platform's for. I'll hear you out. No problem. But I don't know. I don't see it with this. I really don't. I mean, all power to it. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't really, I guess I get it, but I don't like it if that's the case. One of the underrated movies I have seen is Alien Trespass. It came out in 2009, pays homage to the 50s alien invasion movies. Slasher Fred throwing out underrated gems. There you go. Welcome, Slasher Fred. Imagine how much they have to push the envelope now for the third one. Exactly. It gets to the point where, I mean, I guess I could throw wrestling. I mean, think of a wrestling match. Like, let's say you have two guys that can't do much in the ring. You want to have a quick 5-10 minute match, quick, just so you can hide the negatives and accentuate the positives. And that's to me can be done. It can salvage what otherwise would be a bad match if you force two people that can't go long to go 20, 25, 30 minutes, right? That's at least. So here you have a micro budget of $250,000. You have a simplistic slasher film. You have a slasher villain that does not have a motive. Here you add the daughter character, at least that's what I think she's supposed to be. And I think now people might think I'm wrong. I think they're insinuating that she died in a tragic way because she's only really a ghost. She doesn't really kill anybody in the movie. She's a ghost. And I think what they're insinuating is that she died in a horrific accident, which made him become Art the Clown. I think that's what they're insinuating. My guess is part 3 will get that full story. And the marks will jack themselves off, or the people will be pissed because why did you give background to a slasher villain that didn't need any background? I know how this works, guys. I know my shit. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe they'll leave it ambiguous forever. But that's kind of what I think they were hinting at with this particular movie. We got Aiden Vavra in the house. Hello, everyone. Welcome, Mr. Vavra. Hope all is well with you. Honestly, I ain't mad, Grande. I loved the first Terrifier, but the second was a little too much fantasy. I like the gore just fine, though. Okay, fair enough. Ginger Ninja's in the house. Ginger Ninja JK, welcome, my friend. Hope all is well with you. That kid's neck was terrifying. Yeah, it was. I thought that was the scariest thing in this movie, and I feel bad because apparently he's the nicest kid in the world, and he does all these conventions now, and I'm like, man, I don't give a shit. I don't want to meet anyone from Terrifier. I know I have friend, my buddy Ryan met the guy who plays Art and says he was the coolest guy in the world. They had drinks with him and shit. They did a photo op with him. And hey, that's really cool. I mean, it's the truth. He has become an icon. There are some people that fucking go nuts for this Terrifier stuff. So, hey, all power to you. And there's another one in here that, you know, whether you love it or hate it, there's no denying that it became an iconic franchise, whether I like it or not. You know, we'll get there. But you can't deny the fact that these movies are over. Hey, everybody. Welcome, Alpha. Terrifier 2 was ... dramatic dots. Okay. The third act was too long, too fantastical. I like the dirty, gritty feel in the first one. Yeah, I'm the same way. I think that first movie, I was like, you got something here. And I was like, if you ever do a sequel, build on this. Do this again. Do maybe 90 minutes, maybe 10 minutes longer, and maybe try to go a little bit grittier, a little bit darker, a little bit more exploitative. And they just kind of turned up the volume in the goof direction, threw more gore at it, and we're like, okay, we're going to be fun and slapstick. And most people loved it. I mean, this is a movie that gets over a 6 on IMDb. That's good for a slasher movie. This is a movie that a lot of people, I mean, you cannot go on Instagram, horror Instagram pages without seeing this movie mentioned at least in a week. I mean, this is a beloved horror movie, and I don't know. I'm just not in that boat. I'm not in that vein, man. I prefer an underkill myself. I am the Ice Lord is here. I am the Ice Lord. I prefer an underkill myself too, my friend. Welcome. Hope all was well with you. The guy who plays Art is really good. I would agree with that. I like the guy that plays Art. I'm completely with you. We got Joe Mama in the house. Hey, my man. Hope all is well with you, Joe Mama. Speaking of wrestlers, RIP to the WWE and WCW Virgil. He was a big part of my teen-something years watching wrestling. Very, very sad. Virgil, may he rest in peace. And we got another guy that we'll be mentioning tonight, Bray Wyatt, who tragically passed away. Now, I know that was a few months ago. However, he is tied to a movie in the bag of shit here. So, unfortunately, we will get there. But Grande, howdy. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Grande, thumbs way up. Thumbs up. Hell yeah, man. Welcome, T. Hope all is well with you. Hey, guys. Terrifier 2 should have been 2 or 3 movies with their own storylines instead of just jamming everything into one film. I agree. Maybe he just decided, I'm going to throw the fucking kitchen sink at them. And yeah, you know what? If that's the case, that's the case. But I don't know. I just felt it was too much. Hey, wait a second. What's the matter with Mushroom Head? Oh boy, we're gonna start fighting in this son of a bitch. Love, love, love Terrifier 2. The kills in it were magnificent. Okay, there you go. There we go. There was also a direct-to-video slasher movie called Milo. It came out in 1999. It's about these females who are terrorized by the serial killer in a rainbow who may be one they faced when they were kids. Okay, very cool. Very cool. Anthony, LOL. They're throwing the E's out there. So Terrifier 2, that's the first one in the bag of shit. We're going to rip that one. Believe it or not, though, that one's probably getting off the easiest tonight, only on the graveyard. So that is what it is. And now let's change the subject into something a little bit more positive. What do we got coming up next? All right. Well, speaking of a movie that came out not 1 year ago, but 2 years ago now, a movie that I championed. I went to the theater with, I believe, 10 to 12 people. And I think I was the only one of all those people that seemed to like the movie. And it is severely underrated. It's a movie that's been shit on since the day it came out. And I actually do have a physical media copy I can show of it here. So no screen visual here. This is from the year 2022. This is James Wan's film. This is Malignant. Yes, Malignant from 2022. And, you know, I adore this movie. I think this is a great, great, great horror movie for a lot of different reasons. And I know that it was considered a big disappointment upon its release. It did not do the commercial success, financial success, whatever you want to call it, that James Wan's previous movies had done. The Conjuring was a big hit, created this whole universe. Insidious was this big hit, $1 million movie that made, you know, millions and millions and millions of dollars, and you know, grossed 4 sequels where The Conjuring has a universe. Saw was the biggest horror franchise next to one that's going to be in the bag of fuck here, you know, of the 2000s. And this was a movie where he, after doing these Fast and Furious sequels, after doing Aquamans and all these movies that to me don't really say him, but hey, he got there. He's a filmmaker. He got to do other things, big, big budget movies. Good for James Wan. I have nothing but respect for him. This was the return to the genre for him, and I think he wanted to do something very different. And I think that a lot of people went into this, my friends included. We went, a whole bunch of us. We had a whole row in the theater. It was just me and my friends. I was so excited. And man, when the credits went and I got up and I was like looking to see, oh, what did everybody think? And everybody just shaking their head at me and the movie. And I remember my friend Nick, a good dear friend of the show, Nick Centrone, he looks at me and goes, it wasn't even scary. Like, he was so disappointed. I think a lot of people went into this expecting The Conjuring. A lot of people went into this expecting Insidious or the more, I guess, usual James Wan film. Whereas what this is a complete horse of a different color. And I love it for that. It is just a weird, fantastical movie that almost goes paint by paint like a early giallo film with its colors and its black glove killings and all these things, wild dream sequences. And then by the end almost becomes like a Frank Henenlotter film with body horror and over-the-top violence in this police station shootout that was something straight out of a Jackie Chan film. And everybody was kung fu fighting. I loved this thing. I mean, absolutely loved it from top to bottom. And I was blown away in the theater. I was like, man, that is, wow, I never thought I would get anything like this. And now I know I do the brief plot synopsises, and I skipped it on Terrifier 2, but I'll do it here. Madison is paralyzed by shocking visions of grisly murders, and her torment worsens as she discovers that these waking dreams are in fact terrifying realities. Yes, Malignant. I just think this is a great movie, and it was my favorite horror movie of that year. And man, people fucking hate it. Like, it is absolutely despised, and it's considered one of James Wan's worst, and it was considered a huge bomb. I know the movie did not make much money at all. I mean, we could check the numbers, which is, it's only going to depress you. I know, granted, this did, I believe it was released on HBO Max the same day, so maybe that hurt it, but on a budget of $40 million, this grossed $34.8 million worldwide, $5 million and change its opening weekend. $5 million. That's it. That's all on a $40 million budget, man. it made an eighth of its budget back on its big opening weekend. Like, that's wow. That's crazy bad. The money that this movie lost. I mean, I can only imagine what it did. Now, granted, I don't know what HBO Max paid them. Probably an undisclosed figure. Maybe they did make some money back. I don't know. But I know the movie did not make money in the theaters. In fact, it lost quite a chunky change. And a lot of people hated it, and my friends included. And I remember we were driving. We went to get, I believe we want to get appetizers after. And that was my big question. Wait, can you explain to me why did you not like it? And they were, well, it wasn't scary like The Conjuring, and it didn't have those great scare sequences like Insidious, and it didn't make me think like Saw, and it didn't creep me out like Dead Silence. And they just kind of compared it to the rest of his filmography, whereas what I see this is a complete change in pace and a real kind of love letter to movies that Dario Argento did, a love letter to movies that Mario Bava did, and with the colors and the giallo, feel of this movie, with the interesting, character plots where, of course, we follow this woman, Madison, who, of course, has this abusive boyfriend who she's pregnant at the beginning of the film. He pushes her into a wall. She has, hits her head, and basically this awakens this killer, and this killer starts killing people off in her life. And she has these wonderful dream sequences where she falls asleep and the whole room around her changes, and she could see the person being murdered in front of her. In similar vein to like Shocker, or even, premonition movies and shit like that. Like, she could see the people being killed in the dream, and she's trying to warn them. By the time she wakes up, it's too late. I loved that. I thought that was really, really interesting. And I liked some of the direction in this movie, some of the chases between this killer that runs backwards. It runs in a backwards motion and is talking and communicating through radio static and electricity. Just very creative, very different movie. And I don't know. I just think people thought it was either too silly, I don't know. I can't really explain why people hated this movie other than hating it for what it wasn't. And I don't really get that. I don't really get hating a movie for not being what you wanted it to be. Okay, yeah, it wasn't The Conjuring. The Conjuring is still there. You can still love The Conjuring. You can still jack off all over The Conjuring. It is a great horror movie. There's no doubt about that. But the fact that he tried something different here and paid homage to a guy like Argento, paid homage to a guy that loved doing body horror and over-the-top body horror, and that in a Frank Henenlotter, I'm all for that. That's something new and unique and different. And I am all for that being the direction of horror in the future. And unfortunately, it just did not draw, didn't make noise, didn't strike a nerve like James Wan's films in the past had. And I think that's a damn shame. Now, when you get to the finale of this movie, I thought it was one of the best, as opposed to Terrifier 2, which we ripped in half. I thought the third act of this movie was the best part. We learn through these home videotapes that, our lead character, Madison, she's always had this twin named Gabriel. And Gabriel was a malignant tumor that they cut out of her in the beginning of the film. It was in her head. And basically what happens is, her getting her head knocked against the wall, it wakes up Gabriel, and he starts to go on this murder spree. And she's unconscious or in a dream world when he is doing the murders. That's why she can never encounter the killer. And man, I thought they were fantastic. Like, I was like, wow, like, this is really interesting. And I thought it really worked. And I thought the whole third act in the police station with Zoe Bell and all these over-the-top kind of women inmates getting killed, getting their arms broken, getting their necks stabbed, getting their fucking heads stomped in by this lady. All was missing was you could have played Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting. That bitch was fast as lightning. Kicking ass, taking names, splatting gore, having a good time at the movies. And that's what I had when I saw Malignant. I just had a good time. I was like, wow, like, what a fucking curveball. I never would have expected this. I expected another Conjuring Insidious, and I was so thrilled I didn't get that. Hit me with something else. Hit me with a left when I think I'm coming in getting the right. And I think the opposite happened for the people that did not like this. They wanted the right, expected the right, got the left, and fucking was pissed leaving. And that's unfortunate, but I love Malignant, man. What do you guys have to say about this one? Because I think this is a damn good horror movie. In my humble opinion, this is a horror movie that I think really should get more love. I loved Malignant. Modern Giallo, absolutely. I loved it too. I loved it so much. I know I don't know. I'm sure you know because you're a big physical media guy like me. They had released the Blu-ray, said Warner Bros. We're never going to release a 4K of it. Never, ever, ever. I don't know why, but the Blu-ray must have sold well, or they must have just decided, fuck it, we'll do a 4K. And then like a month or two later, they were like, yeah, we're going to do the 4K. So I sold my Blu-ray, upgraded to the 4K. I love this movie with a burning passion. Absolutely love Malignant. Malignant is very cool. Don't understand why people are so hard on that. I don't know. Maybe it's a case of expectation. I mean, that's what I think. I really think with that name, with James Wan's name, I think they were just upset they didn't get that type of horror movie. I think they were like, wait, what? Like that you're throwing this at me now? Like this feels like something more along the lines of Dead Silence, like something he would make around that time. It's very different in that way. But you know, there are things in the movie that I just think are funny. Like I think the score is really funny, where it's basically the ripoff of Where Is My Mind, the Joseph Bishara score. I mean, it's weird. It's really like blatant ripoff of Where Is My Mind, but it works. I guess. Yeah, Where Is My Mind? It's Malignant. You know, I don't know. I thought this really worked. I liked the cop characters. I really liked them. The lead detective and his partner. I thought they were funny, and I thought they were likable, and I wanted to see them live. And spoiler alert, they both do live, even though they both get wounded and the shit kicked out of them. I mean, I was happy with that. I liked the characters. I liked the backstory and Gabriel. And I don't know. I think my friends thought it was stupid. They were like, "This is just so dumb." And to each their own. Maybe it is stupid. Maybe I'm completely overhyping it. I don't know. I ate every minute of this up. I thought it was really, really a good time. The Undead of Night is here. Hey, John in chat. Malignant is crazy ride that gets better on a second viewing. I agree. It's only gotten better on rewatches for me. I really love this movie. I remember also too the thing about that night. Another good friend of the show we've had on a couple times, Ryan Larkin. He sends me a voice message like while I'm in the movie. And I know he probably stayed home and watched it. He was very like scared of COVID at the time. This is still like people were like slowly but surely coming back to the movie theaters this was the time that was going on. And I remember he sent me this voice message. He was like, "It's not too late. Walk out. It's the biggest piece of shit." And to this day, they make fun of me. That whole family makes fun of me. They're like, "Yeah, we don't take your advice anymore." I'm like, "Why?" They're like, "Because you like Malignant." I'm like, "But why? Like, what? Like, I do not understand." I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Hey, what's up, everybody? Murdsy's Movie Mansion's in the house. I've shit on some of Murdsy's favorite movies tonight. We're going to shit on some of Murdsy's favorites, and even a band that Murdsy likes tonight, only on The Graveyard. Malignant had a soft spot in my heart due to the Giallo-esque vibes. Yeah, no, I mean, I would be surprised if you hated this or didn't like it, because I mean, yeah, the first third, maybe even the first 2/3 of it are very Giallo-esque, and it's very unique. And I know there's some people that are like, I didn't see Giallo at all in it. Like, I forget who the fuck told me that. Somebody told me that. They were like, I didn't see that at all. I was like, what? I'm like, how the fuck are you a Giallo fan and didn't see anything? I'm like, what? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm here to defend Jennifer's body. Oh, well, that's a spoiler alert. That's the people did not know Jennifer's body's going to be in this fucking bag of shit here. I don't have any problem with Jennifer's body. Oh, I do. I have a fucking problem. I have a problem or two with that bitch's body. Oh, fuck. Malignant was outstanding. I love that flick. The twist, the Argento vibes, the gore at the end. Gabriel went full ass John Wick at the end. And I loved that. I was like, holy shit, man. Where fucking Gabriel takes out the entire fucking police force, the entire prisoners in the cell. Like, holy shit. I absolutely was just a kid at Christmas at the end of this movie. I was like, holy moly. So Miss Carter in Texas, happy Thursday. And I would even say this, you know, in an impromptu comparison to Terrifier, this movie, it works its way up to the gratuity. Whereas Terrifier 2, it's gratuitous from the word go. Like it's not like to me, a perfect crescendo of horror is building up to your big payoff, a slow burn, if you will. It doesn't matter or mean as much or have as loud of a volume to it if you're just being gratuitous off the fucking bat. Because it's just, how far can you raise the bar? You can't raise the bar anymore. You already lifted it to the top in the first 5 minutes, and I got to sit here for 2 hours and 25 minutes plus more. I don't know. That's just, I think it's kind of silly, but it is what it is. People like it, and they definitely liked it, and it made more money than this. It made more money than this based upon budget versus, you know, what it made and profits. One of the classic 50s that I think is the best is The Tingler with Vincent Price. It involves a parasite which is attracted to fear. And that was an interesting movie at the time, too, where they did all these interesting gimmicks where they would make the floor shake and shit like that. And some people, the bug would be like put on their arm and shit like that. That was a big William Castle. He loved to do like gimmick movies. Like that was a big gimmick movie for him. And of course, Vincent Price sold the tickets, and then whatever gimmick they wanted to do from there. With House of Wax, it was 3D. With Tingler, it was like the floor would shake and shed. With House on Haunted Hill, I think there were screenings where they would throw a skeleton out the screen. That was gimmick horror. That was really gimmick horror at its prime. And that's, I'm not a big 1950s horror guy, but I do look back fondly on that shit because, I mean, I would love if they did shit like that now because they need it. I mean, you need shameless gimmicks now because fuck, I don't know. I mean, most horror movies lately, I don't know. A lot of people talking about Malignant recently. Seems people are getting on the Malignant train, and I'm all for it. I really enjoyed it. Reminded me of Dark Half and The Secret Window. That's interesting comparison. Yeah, definitely have some Dark Half vibes. It's a lot more like entertaining, energetic Dark Half for me. And yeah, no, hey, if that's the truth, if people are getting on this train, amen. Please get on this train, drive it to the fucking pay window because I wish more people would get into Malignant. I tried watching Malignant twice, and I just don't get it. That's not to say it's bad, but I don't plan to watch it again anytime soon. Twice was enough for me. There you go. Somebody did not like it, didn't get it, wasn't interested. So, and I think I would dare to say I think Miss C's in the majority. I think there's more people that didn't like it than did. Those kids were fast as lightning. Yeah, hell yeah. The Tingler is one of my all-time favorites, says Texas. Hell yeah. Hey, Grande, but some films bomb like Blade Runner, then it builds a cult following and more money comes back in the future. Well, unfortunately, we do have one in here that did that as well. Cooper Glover, welcome, my friend. Hope all is well with you. We got Mateo saying, John, I found the dream sequence to be a huge nod to All the Colors of the Dark and The Strange Vices of Mrs. Ward. Absolutely. I'm totally there with you. And I thought in the best of ways, like what a good way to pay tribute to the Jolly of yesteryear. I thought it really did a good job with it. I totally could throw Martino's name into this. One question, where can I get a graveyard mug? Don Belleville, welcome, my friend. Funny enough, this was made for me by my sister. So I don't know. This is the only one in existence. Only. But I'm sure you could probably take my logo, go to a Creative mug and get one for $5 probably. So to each their own. This was made for me for a Christmas year. One of the Christmases she brought that for me. So yeah, pretty cool. Grande's Graveyard mug only on the Graveyard. Do you consider the 1984 movie Night of the Comet to be a horror movie? It's close. It's really close because, I mean, it does have zombies in it, but it doesn't really have flesh eating. It could definitely be considered a more action adventure, sci-fi movie. I love that movie. I do love that movie. I would say, yeah, I would say it's close. It's close enough. Like I would say sci-fi, horror, sci-fi, one or the other. It doesn't really, not qualify for horror in my opinion. I always love Night of the Comet. I think that's a great movie that, again, more people should probably talk about. Granted, that one I think has gotten enough buzz though. At least it's gotten a special edition Blu-ray and stuff like that. I think there's a 5-minute featurette. That's all it's on, this 4K. And I don't know, maybe one day we'll get a special edition like Dead Silence did. After all these years, people like Dead Silence now. So maybe that'll happen with this, but I think it's going to be a long time if that happens. I've got a UHD for Malignant. Yes, sir. Hell yeah. There we go, Neon. There we go. Malignant was repugnant. Just kidding. Not a bad movie. Okay, very cool. Hey, man, a lot of people thought it was repugnant, so you would not be alone, but I'm glad that you don't think it's a bad movie. Where is My Mind by the Pixies played at the end of Fight Club? Yes, the score of this is Where Is My Mind by the Pixies. It's literally a ripoff of that. It's like, we're to the point where I don't know how he get sued. Like he had a fucking, I would have sued. It's so blatant. Like, yes, you were right, Grande. You are stupid. Just kidding. Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Everybody knows Sleepaway Camp 3 is the worst movie ever made. Oh no. Well, hey, it's funny. It's funny that I put it like Blood and Black Lace, Universal classic. Alice, Sweet Alice, one of the best American giallo ever. And then fucking Sleepaway Camp 3. Like, one of these things is not like the other. But I still love Sleepaway Camp 3. And they're all yellow, and they go up by yellow wall. So long live yellow. Ugly color usually, but hey, man, we rock it on the Graveyard. Good brother Ghostface Brett's in the house. What's up? I'm a little late. No Warriors, my friend. Hope all's well with you. Well, Grande, there are movies like Sallow, where you're never given time to breathe, showing brutality after brutality. But I think that's the point, trying to show the abuse of the control of power. Yes, that movie is very, very based in fascism, and it's there's some shit eating, literal shit eating in that movie. I mean, Sallow is a really tough chore to sit through. And then there are directors like Haneke who spares no prisoners with the family and Funny Games, for example, with how the family is treated in the 2 Day and Age Boys. Well, hey, the thing with that is no one is ever shown on screen getting hit. No one's shown being hurt. No one's shown being shot. No one's shown being stabbed. Yet that movie is so effective because of the mental and psychological torture that they make them feel. I think it's quite something, that movie. I think Funny Games is a great one. We're going to get a Malignant 2 for sure. I don't think so. I would do a cartwheel if that happened, though. They do kind of set it up. Like, she imprisons him at the end and I'll be back. And I was like, I hope so. And then I saw the movie made $5 million. I was like, yeah, we're dead. Like, this movie's not going anywhere. Gabriel is not done killing yet. I would fucking go ballistic if they made a sequel. I would be the first one in line. Hey, Grande, Kal-El is here, saving the world at one Daily Planet at a time. Hey, everyone. One of the more underrated TV slasher movies I've seen is Somebody's Watching Me, who was directed by a famous director. It was one of those female characters being stalked by a homicidal maniac. Hell yeah. Clockwork Orange doesn't even get a frame. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. Although these are at least like I paid something for them. I think that Clockwork thing is like $5. So it's really cheap. I know maybe you can't tell, but it's really cheap. I would love to know what a one sheet of Clockwork Orange costs, just out of curiosity. I know the Dawn one sheet's like $2+ grand now, probably 17 to 2,200. So that's something I probably will never fucking get unless I do like a payment plan over time. But that, I mean, I do have April Fool still in the frame. That's a one sheet signed by Amy Steele. I have the Fun House is in my room. That's a one sheet given me by the legendary Don Belvo, who I don't know if he's still in the house. Yeah, there he is. Never noticed that about Funny Games. Yeah, that's the thing with Funny Games. It's very tricky. Malignant or Basket Case? I know a lot of people compare the two, and I love both movies. That's a really good question. Basket Case 1 is a different horse because I think it's like, while it's funny, there are serious parts of it, and I like the side of New York City that movie shows. Like, it's very similar to like an Abel Ferrara film and some of the locations of it. That's a really good question. I don't know. I mean, I would lean a Basket Case right now, but I think, like, of which movie is technically better? There's no doubt it's this movie. But which one do I watch more? Probably Basket Case. But also, this movie's, 2 years old, if that? So, I mean, that's a good question. I'm going to lean Basket Case, though, for now. Basket Case. Well, yeah, Missy does not like Malignant, so is what it is. I have a spare grand for Dawn Grande. Oh, thanks. Hey, if you have a spare grand, I'm sure it could be used for better things. But let's move on. Malignant, underrated gem that I wish more people would talk about, wish more people would see and put over, but it is what it is. Let's dive into the shit bag of fun here. Oh, boy. What are we going to grab here? Oh, no. Oh, no. I fucking hate this movie. Oh, no. All right. This is one of the two that I absolutely fucking hate with a burning passion. So if you like Grande rants, get your popcorn out. Get your fucking, set your seat, because this movie come out in 2011 in festivals. It was released theatrically worldwide in 2013, which is when I saw it. And this is none other than You're Next. You're Next. AKA Your Movie Sucks. AKA Your Mother Sucks fucking big fucking elephant dicks. AKA You're Irrelevant. AKA Your Movie fucking sucks. And I don't care who knows it. I hate this movie. You want to talk about one of the worst home invasion movies ever made? You look no further than this monkey shit. Look no further. You don't have to wear your glasses. You don't have to put your contacts in. You look no further than You're Next, because this shit sucks. And I hate every fucking minute of it. With that said, brief plot synopsis. When the Davison family comes under attack, their wedding anniversary getaway, the gang of mysterious killers soon learns that one of the victims harbors a secret talent for fighting back. Yes, directed by Adam Wingardium Leviosa, written by fucking Simon Wade Barrett and starring Sharni Vincent and everyone and their mother jacks each other. Oh, Sharni Vincent! Oh, Australian final girl! Somebody give me a fucking dick to jack off in this semicircle of fun. My own is not enough. Your movie sucks. This was the basis. These two idiots got together, Adam Wingardium Leviosa and fucking Simon Wade Barrett. They got together in the semicircle. And while they were jacking each other off, they looked deep into each other's eyes and they said, you know what the only movies that are left that scare me? It's home invasion. We've got to do our own home invasion movie about a bunch of jack-offs that are a family, the Davison family. We're going to bring in Barbara Crampton, who's a horror legend, have her do nothing but fucking sit there and cry and break dishes. That's what you did with Barbara Crampton. You have Barbara Crampton, you gotta make the fucking dishes and set the table and cry in a bed and get killed off screen. That's what you had Barbara Crampton do. Holy shit. Somebody should have reanimated that bitch so she could have kicked their monkey asses. What the hell? You have all these unlikable pricks, and it's the wrong type of heat. Oh, Grande, I know it all. Grande, you're not supposed to like the characters in the movie. Fuck you. This is the wrong type of heat. It's the wrong type of heat. I do not want to see these people get what's coming to them. Oh, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to drink my soda pop in one hand and my fucking popcorn in the other, and I'm going to watch these people get what have coming to them because they're greedy or they're assholes. No, this is the type of heat where I just don't want to watch you. And that's the wrong type of heat. I don't want to see you get fucking murdered. I don't want to see you survive. I don't want to see you fight back. I want to see you fucking evaporate off my screen. I'd rather watch a blank screen. I'd rather watch anything at this point, because this movie stinks. It stinks. Deep breaths. AJ Bowen plays the male lead, and he's also like a pussy in the movie. He's a fat pussy, let's be honest. AJ Bowen basically playing himself, a fat pussy who's a pacifist, and I'm a professor, and I'm somehow banging one of my students played by Sharni Vincent, who all the fucking nerds and fanboys and fucking YouTube, she's the greatest final girl of all time, Grande. Just accept it. No, I'm not accepting shit. She sucks, and what the issue, oh my God, what the issue here is, you took a final girl and decided to make her more invincible than Superman. Even Superman had a kryptonite. Even fucking Luke Skywalker got his hand chopped off and fucking flew down a fucking elevator shaft, got his ass kicked. Every great hero has to have a vulnerability, has to have some type of weakness, as opposed to the strengths, in order to fucking grow and become a character and have an arc. And at the end, beat the big bad villain. That's how fucking heroes are done. This bitch, I'm into survival. I'm just into survival. I'm going to kill all these motherfuckers. I'm going to set up traps around the house like a fucking Home Alone, and I'm Macaulay Culkin, but an Australian pussy. What? And people love this movie. It's one of the best home invasion movies I've ever seen. It's so fucking entertaining. I've never seen something so entertaining. You're next. Oh my God. The WWE, when this movie came out, when the Wyatt family debuted, rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. They all came to the ring in these goat masks and tiger masks and sheep masks, and all in homage to this fucking film. Where I'm like, WWE, why would you want anything to do with this? And especially, the Wyatt family was more interesting than anybody of the killers in this movie. And the actual family that we're supposed to cheer for. And man, this has it's chock filled with some of the most unlikable and stupid characters that you could ever fucking imagine. They all sit down for a family feast, and none of them have a personality. None of them are interesting. None of them stand out. It's fucking bland. It couldn't be any more. If it was any more fucking bland, the screen would have just turned gray. I mean, shit. You have Ty West playing one of the boyfriends of one of the people, and he's, I'm Ty West. I'm a filmmaker. I'm playing myself. Isn't it funny? Isn't it fucking fun? All right, we're fucking funny. He goes to the window and gets arrowed to the head. I was like, holy shit, I almost wish this had happened to Adam fucking Ty West in real life, because this movie sucked. Just a joke. But holy shit, I mean, when I saw it, I was like, oh God, if there's a good part of this movie, it's Adam Wingard fucking having Ty West killed off the bat. I was like, yay, fuck it, Ty West and fucking Cabin Fever 2 and The Innkeepers and fucking House of the Devil, House of the Dicks. Horrible. You have this scene where they're all fucking getting shot at with arrows. They're on the floor and then they're arguing with one another. I would make a run for it if I didn't have an arrow in my back. And then AJ Bowen, I can make a run for it. Oh, no, you're fat. I'm not even fat anymore. That's the dialogue in this movie. This guy is arguing with his brother that he's shot in the back with an arrow that he's not fat anymore. What? How am I supposed to take the moment seriously and be scared for these people if A, I don't care about them, and B, you're all a bunch of fucking children? And then let's send our daughter out. Let's send her out. We're going to have her make a run for it. So what they do, they send this bitch in the back of the hallway. I'm going to run for it, daddy. They fucking grab the front door and open it as she's running. Like, why did she need a running start from down the hall? Why? She runs from down the hall. She's running top speed, and they have like a gimmick tripwire that they perfectly somehow measured. She runs directly into it with her jugular vein and bleeds out. And the Barbara Crampton can't take any more of this. Granted, I couldn't either, Barbara. I would have went upstairs and started crying too, because I would have known that my career had taken a shit stain on itself. And she gets in the bed and cries, hey, and then fucking this guy is hiding under the bed, and she gets killed off screen. Barbara Crampton, the only person that could act in this movie. Kill her off screen. Have her do the dishes. Have her set the table. Know your role. God damn it. What a bunch of horse shit. And then, twist. You want to know? You want to hear a secret? You want to know a twist? Twist. A couple of the family members are in on it because they want to get the inheritance. Wow. What a great twist. I never saw it coming. I knew it off the bat. The fucking weird emo brother and his girlfriend, whose name is Z, who had the fucking charisma of X and Y. And this bitch, you knew she was bad news. From the hi, I'm Z. Nice to meet you. I'm fucking Xenon, the fucking Princess Warrior. What the hell? Garbage. And AJ, I don't want to be in this. I don't want to be anywhere near this because I'm a pacifist. I'm going to make a run for it because I'm a fucking bitch. Runs away from the fucking house and then calls his brother. Hey, is it all over? I hope we got the like, what? And then this bitch, this overpowered bitch, killing all these people. Oh, wasn't it cool when she killed that one guy with a blender? Oh, wasn't it cool when she smashed that guy's head in with a hammer? Oh my God, that was great. Dude, what are you talking about? This lady did not sell. She didn't sell. She's sitting there vulnerable at her fucking boyfriend's parents' house, and then all of a sudden became greater than John Wick, greater than Leon the fucking professional. It was Leon the professional without the ficus. It was fucking Superman with no such thing as kryptonite. There was nothing that could have taken this woman down. They could have dropped a nuclear bomb in this house, and fucking Sharni Vincent would have protected herself with some pussy power. That's what would have happened. What an overrated, fucking overpowered, overstated final girl. The worst final girl of all time. I said it. I will take fucking Wendy Kaplan. Ba-ba-da, shut the fuck up. Ba-da. I would take her over this because this is nonsense. It is nonsense. It's not fucking scary. It's poorly directed. We kill Larry Fezzik in the beginning. You're next. It's written on the fucking glass. Oh, wow. What are we going to do from here? It's never fucking used again. It's the title of the fucking movie. It's used in the opening 3 minutes. It's never used again. You're next. You suck. That's what you suck. That's what it should be called. You suck. You suck. It sucks. It just sucks. There's nothing good about it. There wasn't one memorable character. There wasn't one laugh in a movie where people say, oh, it's a great balance of horror and comedy. I laughed my ass off. Who the fuck laughed at this? I didn't laugh once. You couldn't have paid me to laugh. It was nonsense. It was absolute nonsense. I do not understand why this movie has a 6.6. Why does this have a 6.6 on IMDb? Why does this movie have like a 5? And fucking this movie has a 6.6. It's considered one of the great home invasion movies of all time. It's considered to have the greatest final girl, and everyone loves Sharni Vincent. Oh, it's such a shame. Isn't it a shame, Grande, that she didn't get more work? Who would need more work? She's Superwoman. She's better than Superwoman. She could beat Superwoman with her pinky, this fucking bitch. She sets up traps that John Rambo would jack off to. She sets up traps where the guy goes in the basement ready to kill her. And she sets up a camera on a string that strobes. Oh, direction. Wow. Style. Yeah. Adam Wingardium Leviosa. Fuck you. This fucking guy walks into the basement with a fire poker. Oh, I'm going to kill an Australian bitch. She kills his ass in the strobes, covered in blood. And if you notice, the next scene, she goes up the steps, there's no blood on her. I'm like, what the fuck? What did this bitch clean herself of the gore? Like, how fucking overpowered are you? Setting up traps in the house like she's Nancy Thompson or Macaulay Culkin. Get the fuck out of here. You suck. Your movie sucks. And you're not next. You're irrelevant. You're dog shit. You suck. That's what I think of this movie. With that being said, and that being let out, and I think I have a headache now. Let's move on to the comments. What do you got? What do we got over here? Wow, we got a lot of comments. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, your next has its feet in the fire. Well, fuck this movie and fuck everything about it. Why the hate, Grande? Do tell. Oh, shit. If I didn't tell you enough, Mercy. Mercy probably like, cut this guy off. LOL. No, it's fucking nonsense. It's nonsense. My favorite movie, Grande. No, it's not. It's no. It's some. It might be. Like I were watching reviews on this. I was laughing. I was like, have you all not seen home invasion movies? Like, this is not like great home invasion movies. There's a lot of them. Funny Games, House on the Edge of the Park is miles better than this. Sweetly, oh sweetly. What, this is nonsense. It plays the same awful song. I don't even know the name of the song, but it's garbage. It's on repeat throughout the fucking movie. Oh my God, what a piece of shit. And oh, you're not supposed to like them. I don't care. I would rather watch anyone else be fucking killed. Oh God, what pussies. Everyone's movie is a pussy. One of the most underrated sci-fi movies. Take Deep Star 6. I like Deep Star 6. I actually covered that on the Underwater special. One of my favorite episodes I ever did of this. Hugh Twilight Band. Yep, exactly. We need an app where you could just enter a word and AI Grande rants about it. Oh my God, imagine. That would be amazing. AI Grande, man. Sharni is awesome. LOL. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Anyone that likes this movie, I really am sorry. I just fucking hate it with a passion. I don't think Grande is a fan of female power movies. You're wrong. You're wrong because there are female power movies in the cup. That being said, I don't even really see this as a female empowerment movie. There's one in the bag of shit that I see as kind of one, but there would also be female empowerment. I don't know. I don't think that's the disconnect. I think you just made a bad home invasion horror movie, and here's the thing. There are so many final girls I love. Like I mentioned Amy Steele. I know that maybe people wouldn't mention her, but I love Pamela Springsteen. I know maybe not a final girl, final slasher, final killer, but I love fucking Pamela Springsteen. I do. I absolutely love her. There's so many final girls I love. I really, like a lot of Friday the 13th ones. I mean, I can make a list. I can make an absolute list for you if you really wanted me to. And I even did a top 10, female actors performance. I don't think that's the issue here. I think the way that she is written is so bad. Like, okay, her parents weren't around. She was raised on a survival camp. And that's why she becomes Ramba. That's why she's able to kill all these fucking people. Yeah, but like any kind of weakness though, like she's so overpowered, it's to the point of this is laughable. These guys are trained killers, have been there for fucking days, have been literally pissing in the closet ready to kill these people, and they can't even touch her. Like they can't, like unbelievable. It just, and the people that got the most damage were the people that weren't even killers. Like, oh, I don't know. I think she was just way, way, way overpowered. I think it's a problem. And like, here's the thing. I mentioned male characters. I mentioned Superman. I mentioned Luke Skywalker. Even Superman had a kryptonite. You have to be able to show some kind of vulnerability in order to beat the big bad wolf at the end. That's how fucking heroes are done. Because if you're overpowered, if you just destroy everything, it becomes to the point where you're too fucking good, you're too fucking strong, you're too powerful, and I don't care to watch you anymore because you become the Yankees. You become the Chiefs. You become too good to the point where I don't like you anymore. I don't want to watch you anymore. I'm not interested. That's to me where this is at. That's the level for me. That's a great idea, Sir Terrence. Grande going off, and I'm just in time. Mr. Dan, welcome, my friend. I don't know what part you dived in on, but it must have been fun. So you don't like this film? Yeah, you could say that, Mr. Pine, perfectly. All that being said, I liked your next. Okay, Wingard equals overrated. I agree, and for some reason, he does the Blair Witch 2016, which sucked and it absolutely bombed. He did another movie that bombed. Then out of nowhere, he gets the job for Kong versus Godzilla, and now is doing those movies. So I guess he just failed upwards. I have no idea. I don't think he's ever made a good movie. I think he sucks as a filmmaker. I think this is a prime example of why he sucks as a filmmaker. I'm thinking about his filmography. Maybe The Guest, maybe, and that's more because of Dan Stevens being a great actor than I think it is of fucking Adam Wingard being a good filmmaker. It's the truth, Even the films that people like from him, they mention the actors. Oh, Sharni, oh, fucking Dan Stevens. Like, yeah, like okay, but what about the film? Oh, let's fund that. Yeah, no, you can fund it. Why not? I'm not big into Your Next either. Well, no, I'm not either. I had to rewatch this for the first time in 10 years. I saw it in the theater 2013, so it's been over 10 years since this came out. I hate this movie. I will never watch this movie again. There is no reason. This is a bottom 3 home invasion movie ever. I hate it. Grotty, would you say that literal 10-hour video of paint drying on the wall is more entertaining than this film? Grotty, I'm dead serious that there is a 10-hour video of paint drying on the wall. I give it a shot. I would watch that before I'd watch this shit again. Do you know that Your Next is the favorite movie of Bill Goldberg? You're next. You're irrelevant. Yeah, this movie stinks. I enjoy Your Next, not just for the Aussie factor. It's a fun movie. Oh, we have an Aussie in the house. That's right. Ginger Ninja is Aussie. So sorry. I'm sorry for doing the bad Aussie imitation of Sharni Vincent, but I can't. I think it's the fanboys over here. I'm like, what? Like, holy shit, man. I don't. I like it. I think it was a fun movie. Well, I don't know. I just didn't have fun with it. It frustrated me. I was pulling my hair out of this fucking movie. Speaking of overrated, I vote Pearl and I like Ty West. Oh, do you really? I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's right. I think you liked House of the Devil when we spoke in the past. I can't stand Ty West or most of his work. Pearl, I think she was good, but the movie, I don't know. There was an evil child direct-to-video movie called Daddy's Girl. It involves this young girl named Jody who is obsessed with her father and murders anyone who tries to separate them. Well, that sounds a little bit like Orphan. I enjoy Your Next, but I love the director's next effort to get. There you go. There's a fan of The Guest. Aiden says The Guest is a good one. I agree with X and Pearl. X sucks. X was that was featured on the last episode of Overrated versus Underrated. Love and Grani goes off script. Sorry, I'm happy I delivered there. I don't remember much other than that bow and arrow kill, but Def didn't hate it as much as you did. Yeah, I don't think anyone hates this movie as much as I did. I had so many people, as I posted show prep, I despise this movie, and so many people were like, what? I love Your Next. I was like, fuck no. Like, oh my God. I was yelling at it while I was watching it. After everybody else made their home invasion movies, producers said to these guys, You're next. And they ran with a dull generic movie. Tom, the voice of reason in a world of fucking insanity. This is why I love John like a crazy son. Well, I definitely went a little bit crazy there for sure. It's a female rammer. God bless the power pussy. Yeah, absolutely, man. Pussy triumphs. Goat mass killers that are trained and in the house and armed to the fucking teeth, where this bitch is not even armed with an iPod. It's just a joke. Wingard blew it with that shitty remake of Blair Witch. Oh, that movie sucks with a rotisserie chicken. Shardy Vincent. Oh, I gotta steal that. Shardy. Yeah, she's fucking. This shit is piled so high it needed a bigger container than the underrated choices. Yeah, it sucked. Your next or the see. Wow, both those movies fucking suck. But with that said, The Strangers is better. I hate The Strangers too. I think those are two awful home invasion movies. And trust me, if Your Next wasn't on this list, The Strangers would have been. I mean, they are both terrible films. But The Strangers at least built tension. Granted, it builds tension for too long. There's no fucking payoff. The payoff is we stabbed you because you were home. And we're going to go to church now and hand out a fucking religious pamphlet while I leave the theater with fucking less brain cells than I entered it with. I hate The Strangers too, but it at least could be considered somewhat scary. Granted, they're close. That's you're talking a shitty home invasion double feature. Go watch them. That's a better The Strangers remake. The Strangers is a remake of a French film called Them, which is way better than The Strangers. The Strangers sequel I liked because it was so 80s cheese horror movie throwback. Like that's all it was. It was just fun songs and pop and like vibrant colors. And I need you more tonight. That song. I liked the sequel of The Strangers because it was just a dumb fun slasher movie. Whereas the original, let's build the fucking tension for way too long. Let's have no payoff. Let's have fucking Scott speed bag fucking do nothing, shoot his friend. I shot my friend. And Liv Tyler trying to act scary in this fucking house. I love you. I don't love you. Oh my God. Fucking, I'm standing here. This fucking guy with the underwear on his head in The Strangers. No wonder he was so pissed off. He had underwear on his head. Holy shit. Let's not go down that road of The Strangers because you know the Don't Talk to Strangers song. Don't watch The Strangers. You mean the film becomes boring? Which film? I'm fucking lost now. I'm going to get a meeting for you with Adam Grande. I know you like him. No, I would probably tell him he sucks to his fucking face because he does. It's one of those love or hate it movies. People seem divided on. I personally loved it. The Strangers. Your Next is loved. I don't know of many people that don't like Your Next. Like the amount of comments people, I was like, wow, I was like, this is really an overrated one because I hate it. No Scooby Dooby douchebag in it. That's right. There is no Scooby Dooby douchebag. Wall Grande the Strangers is great. Mercy, it's amazing. Yeah, oh boy, I hate that one too. It is better than this though. It really is. At least they got something right in that movie. I don't think got one thing right. I read the comment wrong. I thought he said X and Pearl was overrated. I do think X and Pearl are extremely overrated. Okay, let's see. Strangers Pray at Night, The Strangers, and You're Next. I agree. I actually agree with that. The trailer for the new Strangers comes out tomorrow. I'm worried for that one. Yeah, maybe the guy will come back with a bunch of fucking underwear on his head. Bunch of nonsense. I really dug Pray at Night. So did I. I thought that was a fun throwback. One of the most underrated movies I remember is Psycho Beach Party. It pays homage to those classic 50s, 60s beach party movies. Hell yeah. Is Them one where the couple begins chased through their house by teenagers and kids? That's the one. Yes, sir. That's the one. I love that movie. That's a good one. But let's move on. We've been far too long on Your Next. So sorry if you like Your Next. So be it, Jedi. Let's get into one that we find underrated. Oh, wow. Okay, so completely shifting gears here. And this, I know some people might say this is a cheat. I personally don't think so. I think in a lot of respects, this is a horror movie in and of itself. And I know that a lot of people are going to say, it's not really, that's a cheat. I don't know. You know, I don't even find it underrated or whatever. But in my opinion, this is the horrors of the real world. And this is actually a true crime documentary that to me exploits every bit of horrific imagery, every bit of horrific, action and anything in the world that you could think of. This movie can rival it in points of its disturbing element. And it's not a movie for everybody, but I do think this is an underrated one. And I think that more people need to see this. This came out in the year I was born, actually, 1996. This is Paradise Lost. The Child Murders at Robin Hood Hills. Yes, Paradise Lost, The Child Murders at Robin Hood Hills. Brief plot synopsis. A horrific triple child murder leads to an indictment, and trial of 3 nonconformist boys based on questionable evidence. Yes, Paradise Lost. Now, this is a movie I stumbled upon years and years ago, late night. And this was back in the day when I actually had HBO cable. And this was an HBO original directed by actually Joe Berlinger, who would go on to do Blair Witch 2, The Book of Shadows, which is a lot better movie than that. And of course, worked directly with Metallica, who their music's featured a lot in this movie. What this movie is basically a court case. And it opens up, the opening minute and a half is the most disturbing thing you see in the entire movie. You open up on an actual raw footage of a murder scene where these 3 8-year-old boys were brutally victimized and killed. and it's all by this river and these hills called Robin Hood Hills over in West Memphis, Arkansas. And we open up with these shots of these boys' bodies in the water, and you can watch this on YouTube. So if people want to know where to watch it, you can watch it there. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. It might be on Hulu or HBO Max. But this truly disturbed me to my core is the opening of this movie, where you see that footage, and what they do is they play Metallica's Sanitarium over the shots, and somehow, some way, it fits it like a glove. And it is the most disturbing opening to a film I think I've ever seen in my life, and truly horrified me to the bone. And I think that it's a documentary that everyone needs to see, no matter what you feel in the case, because I know it's a very diverse case. It's a case that everyone has the ways they feel and believe certain people did it versus didn't do it. But this also expands on that. And this is really about the horrors of a murder trial and a murder case that was handled poorly by so many people involved, that I honestly believe the real killers are free today, or free then, and maybe died in the meantime, because this happened in 1993. So you're talking over 30 years ago. Who knows if the real killer is still alive or not? And I know everyone has their theories if you have seen these. But man, this is fantastic. And I think this is one of it's the best true crime documentary I've ever seen. It really is. It's great. It tells the story of course, these three boys that were murdered, Stevie Branch, Christopher Myers, and Michael Moore. And of course, the three suspects, the three people on trial, are these three, Jesse Miskelly, Jason Baldwin, and of course, the most infamous of the three, Damien Echols. And basically, the entire movie is the three of them pleading their innocence, trying to say, hey, we didn't do this. And this court case of missed evidence, this court case of lost evidence, this court case of other people that may have done it. And then we get to see the behind the scenes of the families of these kids that were murdered. And some of that stuff in and of itself is truly disturbing. They interview the boys' mothers and fathers, and some of the stuff they say, I mean, scars me to the bone. I'll never forget the first time I watched this of the Byers boy's dad, I think John Mark Byers, something like that. And he is just fucking livid. And there's a scene where he's out in a shooting range shooting at a pumpkin. And he's literally like cutting a promo on the three kids on trial. Jesse Miskelly, Jason Baldwin, Damien Echols, I will live to piss upon your graves. I will make you bleed like you made my babies bleed. Like, it is disturbing, where I'm like, holy shit. They interview these kids' moms, and oh my God. I mean, you just cry your eyes out at this poor woman who, he was 8 years old. He didn't even know what his boyhood was yet, and they took it away from him, and I hate him for it. And, some of the stuff that she says, where even if they get locked up, it doesn't change the fact that, these three 8-year-old boys were murdered, and there's nothing we're ever going to do to get them back. And as you watch this thing, man, as you see how poorly this case was handled, no matter what side of it you're on, it's just absolutely crazy. I mean, absolutely crazy. And it's just such a raw documentary. It's so good. You hear from the families of the victims. You hear from the families of the people that are being accused. You hear about other possible suspects, where there was a person who, a mile from the scene was found in a bathroom, bleeding, covered in blood, left blood on the walls. The police apparently did not go inside the restaurant to investigate it. Instead, they sent somebody through the drive-through, this fat fucking cop. They sent her through the drive-through, and she didn't go inside and see if the guy was there. They then collected the guy's blood scrapings and lost the evidence before it could ever get sent to a blood lab. Like, holy crap. Like, this was the most horribly fucking handled case by the police I've ever seen in my life. And man, I really, really believe in my heart of hearts that this might have been a situation where, the real killers might have got off. And I know there are people that think, yeah, the West Memphis Three they're referred to as now, of course, these three here on the poster, Damien, Jesse, and Jason, that they did it. I felt both ways about it. I think there are days where I do think they did it. I really do. There are days where I think they were innocent. I know they've become martyrs now. I know. And if you don't know the whole story, I guess I won't bust it for you. But well, I guess brief. It's not mentioned in this movie, so it won't be spoiled for you in this movie. If you look into the case, you'll see that they actually, were released after 18 years and a few months. They were released from prison, even though they're all given life sentences in this movie. They were released because of the insufficient evidence and because of how poorly the police handled this case. And which is crazy. It became an outcry. Peter Jackson backed these kids. Johnny Depp backed these kids. There were so many like celebrities that out of nowhere were like, "We got your back. We're martyrs now," which I think that's kind of crazy too, because I don't know, there are things that do point to them doing it. And Damien is kind of a guy that, I see Alpha mentioned in the comments. He's weird. Yeah. And, there's always a thing that stuck with me as this movie, goes. And it's one of the quotes from Damien. I actually have it here. "I knew from when I was real small, people were going to know who I was. I always had that feeling. I just never knew how they were going to learn. I kind of enjoy it now because even after I die, people are going to remember me forever. People are going to talk about me for years. People in West Memphis will tell their kids it'll be sort of like the West Memphis boogeyman. Little kids will be looking under their beds. Damien might be there." I'm not saying he did it, but if you're innocent, why do you say that? Like what? Like wow! And just his name was Damien, which that to me always I tied in with Omen 2, Damien Omen 2. That name is just bad. And then of course you also have the horrors of xenophobia in this, the horrors of culture, right? These were three kids that loved heavy metal. These are three kids that wore black t-shirts and, had funky hairstyles and listened to heavy metal and all these things. And I think the fear of what they were into led the police to suspect them more. Oh, hey, there's this weird kid named Damien. Let's interview him. Maybe he's the one that did it in this such small town. And thus, he's interviewed and questioned and taken into custody. I know a lot of people think they were just arrested because of that. Now, I don't know if I go that far, but I definitely think it was a culprit here. It's really raw. It is the most raw documentary you can watch, and I think that the true horror in it is all around. There's really not much you could watch here and not be disturbed by. And I think it's one of the best horror documentaries ever. And I know it's more true crime than horror, but there's so much horror in it. I don't think that you could ever misstate or misinterpret the disturbing factor of Paradise Lost, the child murders at Robin Hood Hills. I think it's a really, really fine documentary. And we'll jump into the comments here. Let's see what y'all have to say. I think we were here. Love the Paradise Lost films. I got really deep into the weeds of that case not long ago. Alpha, since you're really deep into it, man, I gotta ask, who do you think did it? Who is your suspect? What do you think, man? I personally think it was Bojangles. I really do. I absolutely, I know everyone, oh, there's no way, blah, blah, blah. I think it was Bojangles. I think either it was Bojangles or it was a cover-up, because the fact that they fucking got the blood scrapings and they lost them miraculously, that's like, there's no way you could be more suspicious than that. And you're talking to somebody, man, I don't like true crime. I don't watch the news. I don't like the real world. Like, I don't. I generally would never get into something like this, but it is so fucking horrific. And the Metallica music, I love Metallica. I'm a big Metallica fan. You can't not love this documentary with the Metallica music in it. It's really a great, great piece of work, man. And it did win, I believe it won an Emmy for best documentary that year. But it's one that not a lot of people talk about. That's why a big reason I felt it was underrated. It's highly, highly talked about, but it's highly talked about only by a few, though. It's not really like a big water cooler discussion. Maybe it was at the time. I've been buying movies like mad right now, so I'm trying to curb my movie buying for a while I'm still buying. Okay, very cool. People talk to whatever. Paradise Lost is terrific, and I still need to see the sequels. The third one is probably the one you want to watch. The second one, they kind of focus in on the buyer's dad, and it's basically all dropped by the third film, so you can largely skip the second film. I mean, it is good. They're all three of them are good, but to me, none of them capture that raw factor that the first one did. Like, it's because it's the one also where it's the most black and white. Like the sequels, they're really trying to be like the boys are innocent, like they didn't do it. Whereas this one, I don't know. Like, I think they were really trying to say they were guilty. And I think that's the interesting part about it. They were like, yeah, they're guilty, but everything around this fucking case is weird, and you got to acknowledge it. And man, you could go crazy. Like, this is one of those, you could get into conspiracy theories with yourself or others if you do watch it. Okay, I've not seen it. I will put it on my watch list. Mateo, I think you'd really like this. I think it's a really, really good movie, man. Hey there, Terrence. It is free on YouTube, by the way. If you don't have any of those streaming ones I mentioned, it's free on YouTube for sure. It's a lengthy one. It's like 2.5 hours, but damn worth your time. It's one of those, I wouldn't be able to put it down once I started it. Like, it's I watched it all the way through for show prep. I mean, 2.5 hours. Didn't go to the bathroom. Didn't go to take a shit. Didn't go to get a snack. You were glued to this thing. I haven't seen Paradise Lost. Sounds like I definitely need to watch this documentary. I think so. I think you'd really like it. I couldn't imagine somebody not. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if this is underrated or overrated, but one of the movies I have seen come out in the last few years is Vast of Night. It involves these two teens who hear a strange message on the radio. I have never heard of that, so I would say underrated for me. Evening, everyone. Chrissy, the slasher dude's in the house. Let's see. The French title for them is Ills, which you may search for in that way. Seems like I couldn't find a Blu-ray for that. It isn't out of print. Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Hey, Slasher, I liked Vast of Night. Very Twilight Zone feel. Oh, yeah, have me sold. If Slasher Fred and Tom liked it and it has a Twilight Zone feel, oh, I'm sold. Please let me know where to watch that. Love the song Horse Outside. Okay. I'm a huge mark for true crime. Chris C, man. If you are Mark, please watch this doc, because you will. If you are a fucking true crime guy, I feel like this would be like your Citizen Kane. Like, it is for me. Like, it's the best true crime documentary I've ever seen. He's probably innocent, but Damien Echols is fucking nuts. I think so too. Yeah. Like, why would you say that? Like, I'm going to be forever known. I'm going to be the boogeyman under your beds that you fear. Like, if I'm innocent, I'm not saying that. Like, I don't know, but they do, again, then they question him on the stand. Oh, who's Aleister Black to you? And why do you worship Aleister? He's like, I don't worship Aleister Black. Like, the questions are so blasphemous where you're like, how stupid. Like, you're clearly trying to be like, fuck this kid. And it's like, come on him like a human. Like, if he's lying, if he's a killer, like, he's going to tell. Like, you don't have, it's the whole thing feels like they were just pressured. There's so much pressure here where it feels like there was so much pressure, it all came loose, which is sad. I think that's what's lost here. That's Paradise Lost. That's what's lost here, is people really now focus on who did it, who was innocent. Whereas the three people that were innocent really were these three boys that were murdered brutally. That's really what gets lost. It's almost like that part of the case. It's like, yeah, they were killed. Okay, who did it? And then it's arguments over, wait a minute, these people are innocent. That person's suspicious. Let's point fingers here, and here. And that's it. It becomes horrific. It's like we're all pointing fingers now just to put somebody away. And did they really put the right people away? There's horror in that. I see a big, big chunk of horror in that. Because I don't know. I don't know if they put the right people away. I really don't. There's some days where, yeah, I could see that it was Damien. There's other days where I'm like, I don't think so. Like, it's really something. It's a great fan on true crime and mob stuff. Man, Russ, watch this one, brother. Just a quick FYI, I checked its Paradise Lost. It's currently available on Max. Just checked. It's on Max, okay? It is also free on YouTube if people want. And I could not believe with the opening shots of this and with all the Metallica music that it wasn't copyrighted, but there it was. Crime Scene series Netflix did is very good. Okay. If you're a fan of Hillbilly Doc, yeah, a lot of the people are Southern in it for sure. Like, Damien Echols, I will live to piss upon your grave, which that guy actually died a few years ago. So he did not live to piss on Damien Echols' grave. However, that same guy now believes Damien Echols to be innocent. So what? It's just crazy. Like, if you read it to it every point you read gets crazier. It's really something. Satanic Panic vibe. Yeah, that was a big part of the case. It was Satanic Panic, and like they believe that these kids may have been killed in a ritualistic way, and it's just crazy. It's like like I said, it's just really something else. Apparently, there's a lot of evidence that points to local truancy officer at the time. Okay, that's interesting. I know a lot of people now think it was Terry Hobbs, who was the stepfather of one of the boys. That's the big theory now. We've had so many theories, so many suspects. I don't think it's ever going to be solved. I think it's the real horror of it is those three boys innocently died, and their murders will never be solved because of the incompetence of the people involved in the case and pointing fingers and satanic panic and all these things. I think that's truly horrific, man. I don't like the real world either. I don't. I really don't. That's why I don't like. I was shocked, because I'm sitting here. I'm like, man, what is really underrated, like documentary wise? And this is the first thing that came to mind. I'm like, if this ain't horror, I don't know what is. Does the news still come on? I couldn't tell you. I'm sure it does, Neil, but I couldn't tell you either. In my personal opinion, real life horror is much scarier than anything Hollywood movies can come up with. Yeah, it'll disturb you. I unless you've totally desensitized yourself, which I would see help if I was that desensitized. Conversations with a Killer, I would add to that list. Sure. The Real World was a very popular show on MTV. I always compared it to Road Rules. Okay. The ritualistic style of the murders is what has really been the confusing part of the case, which again, though, like from what I understand, no one ever mentioned satanic anything until they interviewed Damien. And Damien was like, that sounds like some satanic shit. And then, there's our prime suspect. Like, it was never, when they found the scene, they didn't think satanic. Like, that wasn't the initial thought of the authorities. It wasn't until he says that, and then it really got the satanic panic thing going. And I think that might have been the biggest thing he said to incriminate himself, even if he was innocent. All three documentaries are excellent. I agree. They really are. I got so into this case at one point, I literally started losing sleep. I had to step away. Yeah, it really does get that. This is the godfather of true crime docs. I agree. I absolutely agree. I think it is. I think it's the best of true crime docs. Hey, good evening, guys. Cinephile Sanity's in the house. Welcome, my friend. Well, it's got Southern people in it. I won't need subtitles. Yeah. LO, I almost thought this was a wrestling stream because of John's thumbnail. Oh my God, imagine. I'll check this one out. Never seen it. Sounds intriguing. Oh man, I would love to hear your thoughts, Brad. That'd be really cool. Hey, what's up, Chris? Just got watching House by the Edge of the Park. Wow, we were just mentioning that. That's so funny. Awesome movie. Really awesome movie. A lot better Home Invasion. People saying hi to Sean. Nacho, what's up, everybody? We got Mikey's Morgue. A lot of people in the house tonight. Glad to see it. The story and documentary is so very grim. It made me want to explore more of the story and other stories like it. Sure. It's called The Child Murders at Robin Hood Hills. I see it on YouTube. Is it that one? If it's 2 hours and a half, then yes, that's the one. The Staircase is another trippy doc. Okay, so people saying hi to one another. As we will move on. Sorry, this has been a little bit of a long show. Back into the bag of fuck here. What do we got? I don't feel anything right now. I don't feel a damn thing. What do we got up next? All right. Controversy, perhaps. I don't know. I don't. That's the thing. Maybe this movie isn't overrated anymore, but at the time it was, and at the time it changed. It changed the genre. It made almost $200 million. It stopped the Saw trade. It, for some people, made horror scary again. It ended torture porn. This movie absolutely curb stomp torture porn to the point where now torture porn is looked at like it was disco. People are like, why did we even like that? Why was that even popular? And in its own way, to me, is almost like disco itself. It's like, why did people like this? And I actually do have physical media of this one. This is from the year it was directed and finished in 2007, was released worldwide in theaters in 2009. This is the biggest horror franchise of the post-2010s. This is Paranormal Activity. Yes, Paranormal Activity from, of course, 2007, when it was done, but 2009 when it was actually released for the masses to see. After moving into a suburban home, a couple becomes increasingly disturbed by a nightly demonic presence. Of course, directed by Oren Pillay, all shot in his house for, I believe, about $15,000. The lead actors were paid like $400 each, and this son of a bitch had legs. And this son of a bitch was marketed so well and so brilliantly that it struck a nerve, and it absolutely changed the genre for a period of time. It really did. And whether you like it, like most people did at the time, and some people still do. Some people still champion this film like Blair Witch is championed. Some people will champion this film, and say it moved the genre along like Scream did in 96, like Saw did in 04, like, Elm Street did in 84. I don't really see that. I think this movie sucked. Um, I think it really shows it's low budget more so than a Blair Witch Project. It really, really shows it. I mean, it really does reek of we had no fucking money. But I think the reason that this became such a big hit and the reason that so many people fucking love this, and it got sequels, and the sequels made a ton of fucking money. It had a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a spinoff of a Ghost Dimension, a Next of Kin. They keep making these. They're not done. There will be more Paranormal Activity movies. Mark my words, there will be. I think it's all because of how they marketed it. I really, really do. I think, and what they did was, it was really smart, was they did at the bottom of the poster was like requested to be in your neighborhood. And what they did was with the trailer, they showed not just shots of the film, but they showed shots of the film in the theater and an audience reacting to it in night vision. And people were grabbing onto each other and throwing popcorns and hands. And I think what happened was the average Joe Blow that was sitting on their couch at home saw that and went, we got to go to the movies and see that. They did their jobs. This movie was marketed perfectly, and they reaped the rewards. This made more than any Saw movie ever did. It ended Saw. Saw 6 bombed. It comes out the same week or week after of this. Saw 6 plummets. The only Saw movie to not make $100 million that wasn't named Spiral. And then this comes out, makes almost 200 million, and then the next year they pull the plug on Saw. All right, final chapter, 3D, charge them more, milk the cash cow, let's get out of Dodge with our fucking heads and Billy the Saw puppet. We could drive off into the sunset. But this movie, there's nothing here. It's a fucking boring couple in a house. Oh, Micah, is there things going on? Why are you filming me? Haha, I'm Katie. They film themselves sleeping. The door moves a little bit. I don't really get why people like this. I don't. But it did strike a nerve. There are some people who'll tell you it's the scariest movie they've ever seen. I don't know. I just don't get that. And similar fashion, look at what Skinamarink did. As horrible as that fucking movie was, that motherfucker got to the theater. That motherfucker made millions. Don't know. Maybe it's marketing. Maybe people just like really dull, boring, tedious found footage movies that are all shot in a fucking house. I don't know. It seemed to have struck a nerve with a lot of people. And it wasn't just, I always, for years, I remember when this came out, I said people got tricked. And maybe they did. But then if everybody got tricked, the sequels would have bombed. The second one would have bombed, and that would have been it, But I think the second one did good. The third one did the best. I think they just kept going. And I don't know why. I really don't. I think it sucks. I don't think it's scary. I don't think it's particularly well directed. I think the acting is awful. The guy playing Micah, who I believe his real name is Micah, he's terrible in the movie. He is absolutely worth less than $400. I went my short movie, I paid them $100 each. They were all better actors than that fucking guy. There's no fucking doubt they deserve that $400 fucking payday other than this fucking idiot. Horrible guy. Oh, honey, promise me you're not going to buy the Ouija board and use it. You promise me? I promise you, babe. I promise you. Fucking 10 minutes later, this motherfucker has a Ouija board and it starts on fucking fire. I can't. I cannot. Why? What, like, and in a lot of ways, we have never moved on from this movie. This is the last big thing. And it came out in 2007, technically 2009, because that was really when it had its buzz. But we are still stuck in this era. Because after this came out, of course, when something makes a lot of money, ripoffs. And ripoffs that were done better. Insidious and The Conjuring, I already mentioned tonight. Those were better fucking movies that made more money. And spawned big franchises. And there were a lot of paranormal movies that came out after this happened. It was like, let's bring ghost movies back. Let's do a haunted house movie. Let's get that train rolling. And that's really and I don't think we've ever moved on from it. Like, name me the next big horror movie that came out after this. I'll wait. I don't think it exists. Because now we live in a world where the genre and the fans are so split. Everything is love it or you hate it. Everything. Everything. It Follows, you love it or you hate it. Hereditary, you love it or you hate it. Midsommar, you love it or you hate it. Talk to Me, you love it or you hate it. There's like The Witch, The Lighthouse, you love it or you hate it. There's nothing that is making $200 million to just go, yep, that's a fucking smash hit, no matter if you loved it or you hated it. The majority went to go see it. The majority spend their hard-earned money to go see it, and that's what matters. We want business. The fucking goal is to make money, and they did with this movie. And I don't think we will. I don't know. I'm still waiting for the next horror movie to move us along, that we can all kind of get together and be like, we're behind this. We are for this, you know? And like, I don't like this movie, there's no doubt. And I'm guilty of not liking some of the movies I just mentioned. I like The Lighthouse. I like The Witch. I like It Follows. I liked all those movies, but I didn't like Hereditary. I didn't see Talk to Me. I mean, they're you know, whatever. I've been on both sides of that fence, so I can't really say or you know, say, oh, I've been behind everything where everyone else can't come together. No, I've been on both sides, so I'm completely guilty too. I just think that, you know, this is a movie that really did strike a nerve, though, you know, and it's curious. It makes me curious. I would love to know why some people think this is the scariest movie I've ever seen, because I don't see it at all. I've seen plenty of found footage, low budget horror movies that I liked better, that I just thought this was garbage. I really did. Every minute of it. I didn't think it was scary. I thought the 8 different endings that it tried sucked, all of them, no matter which one. You throw a rock, you hit a bad ending of this movie. The story, the acting, the scares, none of it worked. It is absolutely one of the most overrated horror movies ever made. There's no doubt in my mind. I think it was a little train that was marketed so brilliantly that it just changed the game. It really did. That goes to show you how big marketing is. If you have a bad movie that's marketed right, you can change the game. It's really crazy. But let's see what the viewers have to say. Let's see what you guys think. Wow, there's a lot of comments here. Holy shit. I think we were here. Hey, don't attack disco. Theme, them's fighting words. Well, wait till we get to Panic at the Disco. Emergency knows. I would love to see Grande do a best and worst of Dusty Rhodes wrestling career matches. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Let me tell you something. The greatest match I ever had was in the Yamaka Civic Center when I wrestled an hour with Holly Race, and we went to a Broadway draw, if you will, Cody. Turd Activity, just a toilet on the cover art. Yeah, I mean, we could drop that in the trash can. Let me get back here though. We'll take it out, but yeah, it's not a good movie at all. Paranormal Activity is the Poltergeist meets Blair Witch Project. Okay, let's see. Hell yeah, Paranormal Activity, one of the best screams I heard in horror in a long time. So, all right, sounds like Chris C, the slasher dude, is into this one. Chris, tell us why, please. And this is, again, like, I know I get animated with some of these, the Your Next rant and whatever, but please tell me. I'm all ears if you guys disagree. That's the fun of the show. It's bipolar. There's going to be ones in here that are not popular that I hate. And there'll be in here the ones I praise that people are like, what the fuck is that? You know, that's the fun of this. Still not seeing any Paranormal Activity movies. I want to say you should watch the first one, but like, I can't recommend it. It's shit. It is nothing to it. Like, I don't know. I just didn't get it. Maybe, okay, because I did see this. The reason they're probably wondering, well, why do you own it if you hate it? I bought it. I remember, I think I bought it at a Blockbuster or a Hollywood Video because I wasn't old enough to see this in the theaters in 2009. You got to remember, what am I in 2009? I'm 12. I'm 12 in 2009. So I seen the commercials. I'm seeing everybody fucking go crazy and telling me it's the scariest thing ever. I couldn't wait for this to come out. Bought the DVD probably the first day. I was like, oh my God. And probably haven't opened it in 15 years until I rewatched it for this. So, I mean, it goes to show you, I was tricked for sure. And I saw the second and third one, and that was it. I was like, these movies are fucking horrible. Jesus Christ, what a pile of smoking shit. Okay, we got some people are with me on this one. I don't know why the first Paranormal Activity freaked everyone out. I like it, but I think the third one and the fifth ones are the best. I think of the ones I saw, the third one was the only one that got the scares somewhat right. Like that was the only one where I was like, okay, like I could possibly rewatch this. The first one and the second one though are fucking horrible movies. Paranormal Inactivity, yeah, for real. Oh, that movie blows. I was never a fan of the series. Oh wow, okay, Murdsy's with us too. So we maybe we got the majority of the chat here. But the studios had the majority of the money. I really enjoyed Paranormal Activity. Okay, here we go. Alpha's with it. Great theater experience, but like with any other found footage film, it only works the first time. It's an interesting take. I don't know. I don't like it may always work best the first time, but like I don't know. Like for me, I love Cloverfield to this day. I have the 4K of Cloverfield. Love that. I love to rewatch Cloverfield. Blair Witch, I would say, as time gone on, I've liked it. Like I when I first saw Blair Witch, I was like, really? Kind of a similar, not as bad, but I don't know. I wasn't impressed. But that movie has grown on me. Like that, this will never grow on me. I was like, let me pop out the DVD. We try to go into this with a more open mind. No, it still sucks. It's not a good fucking film. It's just not. Blair Witch is grew on me because I finally got it. I think it took me a few times to get the horror there. Here, I don't know if there's anything to really get. It just maybe if you were in the theater scared with other people. I don't know. It didn't work. Just didn't work. Don't mind Paranormal Activity. The rest are garbage. I don't care for ghost horror. Well, there you go. Well, that's what we've really had for 15 years, man. OMG, I hate Paranormal Activity movies. Top 5 hated movies of all time. It's bad. They're bad. They're terrible fucking movies. It was a phenomenon regardless of quality. Like, yeah, it was. It really, really was. And that's what they look for. Like, name me the next phenomenon in horror. You can't. Like this was it. This was the last phenomenon horror movie we've gotten. I don't really think there's been, and if something came close to it, it was also a paranormal movie. Like we haven't gotten that next. Like with Scream, it gave birth to the neo slasher. With Saw, it gave birth to the torture movies. With this, it gave birth again to paranormal / haunted house / found footage, all three at once, and the 3D gimmick, which was going on in 2010. Like this really, really pushed everything to go forward. So did Avatar, though. Avatar and that 3D bullshit. That was another movie that really changed the game. 2009 was a big year for movies, and this is definitely one of the biggest ones, as shitty as I believe it to be. Paranormal Activity is a FF franchise, but Blair Witch is separate from it. I love Blair Witch. I think Blair Witch is great. The reverse Blair Witch has really grown on me. I actually thought the second movie was more effective than the first movie. I hated them both. I really did. Maybe the third movie. Like, gun to my head, I'd say the third movie is the best, but I hated all of them with a passion. I wouldn't say it sucks, but it's a fine movie. Nowhere near some of the great found footage films. One of my all-time favorite movies is The Blair Witch Project, which curb stomps this movie. I would agree it does curb stomp this movie. And it did financially, too. Blair Witch made like $260 million in 1999, which is wow. I mean, that is crazy money. I can't stand Paranormal Activity. I saw it in a movie theater and the crowd seemed to just like it for the fun of it, I guess. But I don't think anybody was very scared. But people were. I mean, yeah, your theater, no. But like most theaters, yeah, it really, I don't know. It got people. I agree with that, Sean. I wonder, I will say this. I wonder how much that was. It scared the average moviegoer, maybe. I really, maybe, is that a fair question? I would think it is. Like, I would love to ask people that don't generally watch horror or casually watch it. Like they're not diehard fans like we are. Like, what did they think? Because I would think those would be the majority of people that went to spend their money, that found the movie scary, that really let the movie affect and get underneath their skin. That would be my guess, my hypothesis. If this shit happens, then. But again, I don't know. I that's a very big assumption, and you know what happens when you assume. I liked early 2000s horror, so did I. It was different at the time. It was a fresh film, something new. My bro-in-law almost pissed his pants watching it. I remember. Is your brother-in-law, is he into horror generally? That would be a big question I have. 2000s, excuse me, no problem. There's a new Paranormal Activity game coming out in 2026, just announced this week. Really? Well, what a time to celebrate that. Put it in a trash can. Marlon Wayne's spoof of this is funny. Oh, A Haunted House, that's right. My friend loaned me the Paranormal Activity movies that were out at the time. I never made it past the first movie. I was bored out of my mind, extremely boring in my opinion. I would agree, it is boring. There's nothing going on. I'm hit or miss with early 2000s horror. I like some of it, but most of it's a waste of time. I like early 2000s horror. I would say better than early 2010s horror, or even horror last 5 years for sure. It's crazy. I don't know if Don's still in the house, but Don Belville said it best. It's crazy what you could become nostalgic for. Who knows? Maybe 20 years from now, we'll be nostalgic for the fucking Saw movies, and we'll be nostalgic for movies that came out in the early 2010s. You just never know. As time goes by, you never know what you will or will not find nostalgic. The first few Saw films were good. I think the following ones sort of the same formula, but I like the concept. So do I. I think the first two were the best. After that, you really don't have to watch any of them. The quality of the film and the way it was presented did a good job making you question if it was real footage, even if you know that it's not. Yeah, they did. They do the whole gimmick where it's like, we want to thank the families of these people that for loaning us the fucking footage. They do that at the beginning. I'm a big found footage fan, so I get it with the criticism. LOL. No, hey, no. If you like it for real, you're most likely in the majority. Although in this chat you might be in the minority. It seemed like more people didn't like it in the chat. Skin him a poop. Yeah, skin him a shit. Grande is literally holding a table coaster in his hand. He's got the whole world. Grande, we're never going to agree on every single film. Not just you and me. Yeah, exactly. But I think this show really, I think the reason that people like it is because it's bipolar. Like, it's really like, it's all hot. It's 10 hot takes, really, and I think that's a fun part of doing this. Paranormal Activity is a piece of crap. Yeah, I agree. It's pronounced Mika. Fuck that shit. Skinamarink was a bullshit art project. It's not even a fucking movie. There should be a subgenre dedicated to bullshit movies and houses where nothing happens. Yeah, it's a lot like Home Sweet Home for the 1980, which is this bad Thanksgiving slasher where it literally nothing happens and Body by Jake is the fucking killer in it. It's horrible. Not knowing what's going on around me while I sleep is terrifying to me. Maybe I don't know, but I'm unconscious. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's me, man. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. And I figured, I was like, Blair Witch I didn't like, and it took me years to warm up to it. Maybe that will I was like looking at my watch I was like, Jesus, this is a chore. Don't like found footage films. Okay, fair enough. A lot of people don't. Skinnamarink Dinky, Skinnamarink Doo. I love you. Remember that? I do remember that song. The director, Oren Pillay, proved to be a hack if you watch his follow-up. Yes, that's right. Area 51, which is a piece of horse shit, which was sat on the shelf for like 7 years. It Follows is hit or miss for me, too. I found it boring. See, I love It Follows. I thought It Follows should have been the next big horror movie. And just, it's just, we seem so divided as a community now that it's like, I wonder what the next movie will be. Like, granted, I didn't like this movie. I never did, but like it was good for the genre. The genre was making money again. So that, and the Saw movies stopped. The Turistas of the world, the Hostels of the world, the fucking Craptivities of the world, all these torture movies stopped coming out because of this. So yeah, it was a positive. There, even in a movie I don't like, positives did arise from it. The Conjuring and Insidious came out, which are better. The Last Exorcism, which we'll talk about next week, I liked, but that was an interesting found footage, not paranormal, but like demonic movie. I don't know. It definitely spawned decent enough movies. Area 51 was terrible. Yeah, bad CG. Oh no, Oren Pillay co-wrote and produced the Chernobyl Diaries, which is a piece of shit. Mikey, I'm Canadian, grew up with, and yes, I do Elephant Show. Okay, let's see. Hereditary and Talk to Me suck. Oh my God, we have so many comments. What the fuck? Terrible movies. The best part of Hereditary was ripped off from a real case of a guy getting decapitated by a pole driving home drunk. We did bury Hereditary on the very first episode of Overrated versus Underrated Horror, so we won't go there. Although I've been called a Hereditator in the meantime, which I think is the funniest negative thing I've ever been called, and I love it. I'm a Hereditator. Love Chernobyl Diaries. Oh, see, Chernobyl Diaries I thought was a bunch of shit. Let's see. I love you mentioning the morning and afternoon. Always been a fan of found footage. Yes, about 71% are bad. The ending when she goes to the hallway and she screams freaked me the hell out. Yeah, there are some people that tell you a similar thing that I always felt about Blair Witch was that the ending felt the ending was so creepy. And I know there's the famous story that Steven Spielberg saw Paranormal Activity and he told them to change the ending. Whereas the original ending, like she stabbed him, she sat at the bed, and then the cops shoot her, that was I guess a worse ending than what they went with. So I mean, but still, I don't think the ending they did was very good. I don't like Paranormal Activity. I found it boring after a recent rewatch, and there is much better found footage films out there. I like Diary of the Dead, more flaws and all. I would take Diary of the Dead over it, absolutely. There's no doubt. At least Diary of the Dead has things happen in it. The only way, okay, you guys are talking to each other. Devils, the last 15 minutes of Wreck. Oh, see, I love Wreck. Wreck is great. Anything scary, yeah. I'm gonna skim through these here. I'm just gonna read them. Anything like here, that first Cloverfield still remains great sound. Found footage, absolutely. Yeah, we just have so many. I've always been going for 2 hours, so I don't want to fucking. Let's see. I'll never forget seeing Paranormal Activity in the theater. The scene where the girl gets dragged out of the bed. This older black woman sitting in front of me yelled, "Oh hell no!" It got out and left. Oh, that's great. That's fucking great. Kubrick, I wish. The Outwaters is about as trippy as Skinamarink getting, and that FF film was a trip. Okay. Hell House LLC doesn't get enough love. That movie, I liked it okay, but again, that was one where everyone came to me and was like, "Oh, you're gonna love this." And I think that a little bit of overhype might have burned that one for me, but it's a lot better than this shit. I would watch Hell House LLC fucking 30 times. Even Grave Encounters I liked better than this. I love Grave Encounters. I think that's a fun fucking movie. I sort of get tired of found footage films. It's become so cliche. I love The Last Exorcism. Heard the second was not that good. I've never seen the second one, but we're talking about the first one next week, so that should be fun. I sort of like Teresa's Grande. I didn't. I fucking hate almost all those movies. Kubrick one was our fave. Grande stream will be over 24 hours. Yeah, Fred, this fucking pace, yeah. Teresa's have the DVD. I'm good with Hereditary, but I hate Midsommar. The characters are so fucking dumb. Yeah, no, I didn't like either. But let's move on into something more positive. Let's grab to the bag here. Oh, man. Okay. This is probably where I've had a good audience the whole time. I bet you a lot of money. This is where I'm going to lose a lot of people because I'm almost positive nobody's fucking heard of this movie. Maybe people have heard of it, but this is an underseen movie if I've ever heard it. And this is from the year 1975. It's from a little talked about filmmaker, Don Jones, who I think was just great. Of course, he had directed slasher movies like The Forest. He had directed one of the best spoken about exploitation movies called Schoolgirls in Chains, which I did cover on the Exploitation Explosion episode of Grande's Graveyard. So if you've never seen that, watch Schoolgirls in Chains or watch that episode if you're interested. But this was the middle movie he made in between those two. And in my humble opinion, it might just be his best. I think it's this or Schoolgirls in Chains for what's his best movie. And it's a movie that has absolutely blown me away since the first time I saw it. And I think it deserves to be talked about a lot more. This is from 1975. This is The Love Butcher. Yes, The Love Butcher. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Brief plot synopsis. You'll get what I'm saying if you've seen the movie. If not, you think I'm a madman. The twisted tale of Caleb and his alter ego Lester. After being pushed around too far, Caleb transforms into Lester and returns to those who have wronged him. Yes, The Love Butcher. I am blown away by this movie. I think this is a great character study horror film about the horrors of what someone is treated like if they are not a beautiful person in the eyes of society. And I'll tell you a bit of a brief, little bit of the movie, what it's about. It stars this person who I think the actor does a great job in it. James Lemp plays, of course, Caleb. He's Caleb by day and becomes Lester, the Love Butcher, by night. He has a dual personality, and basically by the day when he's Caleb, he's this friendly ugly gardener who has awful teeth and this horrible lisp, and he's asking people, "Hey ma'am, it's a fine day, ma'am, can I get a glass of water, ma'am?" "Yes ma'am." He says it's to the point where it's the most funny thing and best thing in this movie is you will be quoting it after watching it. It's so memorable with its dialogue. And by day, he's this mistreated gardener who all of these beautiful women that own these beautiful houses treat him like garbage, treat him like dirt, treat him like trash. And we see that through his eyes, and he goes home and just feels so worthless and so low in himself. And then, of course, when night falls, he becomes Lester. He becomes this suave alter ego persona known as the Love Butcher, who goes to these very same women's houses and starts to woo them, starts to win them over because he puts some makeup on, a wig here, some whatever here and there, and he's almost transformed into a good-looking guy that all these women kind of want to be with and have sex with. And then, of course, he does have sex with them and starts killing them off one by one. And this becomes a very interesting slasher movie slash psychological horror movie that's a character study of someone who has two personalities. And there's some great usage of color and technicolor, especially by Don Jones in this. Of course, this was a movie that was originally written and directed by a guy by the name of Michael Angel, who left the project because they wanted more gore, and they brought in Don Jones to try to save a sinking ship. And he not only saved the sinking ship, he fucking swam that motherfucker to shore in The Love Butcher. And I thought this was fantastic. There are some great scenes that really, really predate the Willem Dafoe in Spider-Man stuff, where he's talking, tell me how! First, we attack his heart. It's done here, where he's talking to the back of a chair with a wig on it. And he's just absolutely every scene just really Shakespearean. Like I'm so sick of how I'm treated. It's wrong. It's wrong. I'm nothing but nice to these bitches, and they give me nothing. They give me a glass of water and they shoo me off. It's disgusting how they treat me. And it's all like links back to his childhood, where his mother never loved him, and that she always favored her brother, who you find out also was named Lester. And it's almost like the alter personality, he wanted to always be his brother. And it's a fucking masterpiece. I mean, I love this movie. I don't understand why more people don't talk about this. I think this is a great, great, great 1970s psychological character study horror movie where, you know, I like the way, you know, American Psycho is looked at. I mean, I look at this as I think a 70s version, but with some split personality in there. And, you know, instead of a suave Christian Bale who would never be mistreated by a Reese Witherspoon or all these prostitutes that he doesn't really need to be fucking, you know, you have this guy that is really ugly on the outside, but, you know, once he changes what's on the outside, it seems people let him on the inside. I really like this movie. I really think this is one that deserves more love, and one that I find super underrated. I think I have maybe covered this on one show in the past. I want to say it might have been one of the Valentine's Day specials, but I don't remember. It's a great one. It really is worth your time. I think The Love Butcher needs to be seen by more people. I really like this one. I think Don Jones does a great job. I think James Lemp does a great job as the lead role, as this just psychopath playing two people, really. Love The Love Butcher. I think this is a really underrated gem. I love it a lot. So let's see what you guys have to say in the comments here. I'm curious to hear y'all's thoughts. Let's go here. I think we were here. I'm leaving Grande, LOL. No worries. Cannibal Holocaust found footage is the only one I watched. Love that movie. Russell, proceed with caution. Mayan is here. OMG, I'm so late. Man, me and Curly were talking about, and I don't know if I doubt Anthony's still here. He's probably got work tomorrow. But we were talking about possibly taking a trip to the city soon. So if you're interested, my friend, please reach out. We would definitely meet up with you. Maybe we'll all go out to eat or something. I've heard of The Love Butcher. Okay, there you go. Hey, man. Yes, ma'am. Hey, Grande. Hey, Chris, Texas, Russell. Hey, everybody. Sounds like Raising Cain and Jekyll and Hyde. A little bit. Definitely a little bit. Saw Dr. Death, Seeker of Souls. Cheesy, but I liked it. Mo Howard from the Three Stooges has a small role. His only horror film. Well, we got to love Mo. Grande, I found The Love Butcher on YouTube. Very cool. I recommend this Blu-ray. It also has a great commentary by, and I know my good friend buddy Will would love this, The Cabinet of Dr. Howdy. Who did the goddamn commentary on this? I forget, but there's a great commentary on the track that I highly recommend people listen to if you do have it. Let's see. I saw it and loved it. It was too short. Okay, there you go. Mateo has seen it, so that's cool. I'm glad Mateo liked it. Yeah, I that doesn't surprise me that you would like it because it does play with a lot of colors. It's sort of a slasher movie. It's sort of like it definitely. I don't know if it has Giallo vibes, but it definitely. I could see why you would like. I'm not surprised you like it. I guess American Psycho is really good. Yes, it is. American Psycho is great. Let's see. OMG, let's do it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Hey, I'll reach out to you if you want to leave your email or something. We'll talk. I don't know. Do you have Instagram? I forget if you have Instagram. If you do, I'll follow you on there. We could all make a chat or something. You've seen Love Butcher. People asking. Okay, so again, yeah, love. I knew that was going to be a less popular one. It doesn't seem like. Oh, wait a minute. New comments. Let's see. Did we miss anything? Haven't seen The Love Butcher. Sounds like a good time at the movies. I would be curious to hear what you think, Miss C. I don't know. I think it would be a very maybe polarizing movie for you, but one that I really like. So that's one I wanted to mention on here. Let's deep back. Oh, there's still one in here I really hate, but I'm not gonna fucking overrant because we're really deep into the show. We had almost 3 hours here. Oh God, and it's this one. Oh no. Oh no. Should we save this for last? I don't know. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. This movie also came out in 2009. What a shit fucking year for fucking overrated horror movies here because this movie sucks. And I will say this, I'll preface this by saying this. When this came out, everyone critically it was hated. Commercially it bombed. Nobody liked it when it came out and I was there. Granted I was 12, but this was the talk at the bus stop was this movie. And it fucking sucks. It sucked then, and it fucking sucks now. This is Jennifer's Body. Yes, Jennifer's Body from 2009. Brief plot synopsis. A newly possessed high school cheerleader turns into a succubus who specializes in killing her male classmates. Can her best friend put an end to the horror? I don't know. I don't know if anyone could put an end to this fucking horror because this is such a piece of shit. And now, like, you're probably asking, okay, if everyone hated it when it came out, it was critically a failure, commercially a failure. Well, how is it in the overrated trash can? I would never put it in the overrated trash can if it wasn't for now this movie's apparently a cult classic. And that's news to me. This happened a couple years ago. Somebody posted like rediscovering a cult classic. And there have been musicals that have been inspired by this film. Musicals, graphic novels. This has become like a huge feminist cult classic. Like huge. People fucking love this movie now. I'll never understand why. Like in my opinion, Jennifer's Body is just a fucking blatant Ginger Snaps ripoff. That's all it is. And Ginger Snaps, that's a great female horror movie. Like Missy was before saying, "Oh, I'm not, pro whatever." Ginger Snaps is way better than this fucking way better. This is a bad copy of that movie. Instead of a werewolf, it's a succubus. Instead of Catherine Isabel, it's Megan Fox. Instead of Emily Perkins as the nerdy person, it's fucking Amanda Seyfried, who I don't buy as a nerdy person. It's Amanda fucking Seyfried with giant fucking knits and fucking blushy blonde hair. Amanda Seyfried is a nerd? Really? She refers to herself as a dork. I'm like, if you're a dork, who the fuck? Where are the dorks? Like, what? Like, are you kidding me? I hate this movie, and it's bad from top to bottom. And the worst thing in it is its writing. Of course, this was written by Diablo Cody, who was the big story of that time, and all the fucking marks. I guess in this case, more female marks were not jacking each other's off because they didn't have dicks. They were fingering each other in the semicircle, and they were squirting all over. Oh, Jennifer's Body. Oh, Diablo Cody. Oh, Juno. Oh, my God. This bitch won an Oscar. Diablo Cody, she won an Oscar. This is the next big writer. She's the next Aaron Sorkin. Everybody putting the crown on this fucking queen. And then she writes this movie, which, again, blatant ripoff of fucking Ginger Snaps, to the point where if I was the writer of Ginger Snaps, I would have sued. I would have been like, horse shit. The writing in this movie is so atrocious. It's so poorly overwritten that I can't even understand how one person likes the movie. This is some of the lines in Jennifer's Body. You guys, you two, you're totally lesbian. Oh, this is free-tarded. I can't take this anymore. Have you guys been fucking? I smell Thai food. Fucking Megan Fox saying, oh, the lead singer of this band is totally salty. What the fuck? I've never in my life, I believe, starting middle school when this movie came out, when this movie was relevant, when this movie was trying to be hip and trying to be with the times, and they're mentioning fucking MySpace and shit, which dates the movie. No one talks like that. No one. I've never in my life heard someone say this is lesbian. I've never in my fucking life heard a woman say that a man was attractive and refer to him as salty. What the fuck? This ain't McDonald's fries. This ain't a fucking saltwater taffy. This ain't fucking anchovies. This is a fucking man. What the fuck? And her and fucking Amanda Seyfried trying to play a nerd, trying to look like Jan Brady, which even the movie says. They go to a fucking bar where there's this shitty local band playing, and Adam Brody's the lead singer, and they want to sacrifice a virgin. And for some reason, of all the people in this bar, they decide that Megan Fox is the virgin that they want to sacrifice. Who in the fuck would look at this woman and think she's a virgin? What? And also in the meantime of you ripping off fucking Ginger Snaps, you also ripped off the fucking poster of Student Bodies, you cocksuckers. You ripped off the fucking poster of Student Bodies. That's a rip off Student Bodies, which is better. It's scarier than this piece of shit. And it's funnier. Was this movie trying to be funny, trying to have humor? I didn't laugh once. I pulled my hair out at this. And I'm not even a backdoor virgin. I want to be sacrificed by these fucking guys. They sacrifice this woman, they stab her, and start singing 8675309 as they're stabbing her. What? Well, I thought they were going to sing 1985. Why don't you start singing Bowling for Soup? Why not? All the music in this movie is so bad. I can't even explain to you. How many Panic at the Disco songs do you need to play until I fucking actually panic at the theater and run out and ask for my fucking money back? How many? How many do people ever heard of? Closing the goddamn door. No, this movie fucking sucks. And Megan Fox is a fucking hoe. No. What? Oh my God, I cannot. I just cannot understand why out of nowhere a feminist cult classic. Where is this feminist? All of the men in this movie are not even evil. You have a jock that has no character. You have an emo boy that has no character who went on to be in the voluptuous Nightmare on Elm Street remake, which give that a fucking golf clap. This movie's better than that. At least that guy should fire his fucking agent for putting him in those two shit stains of movies. I mean, you have mostly off-screen kills, mostly off-screen gore. You have bad CGI mouth effects on Megan Fox. We never see the fucking yits, which is in a movie called Jennifer's Body. We never see Jennifer's body. And I know, oh, is he sexist? No, I'm not sexist. But Jesus Christ, Megan Fox is not going to be hired to win an Oscar. Megan Fox is not going to be brought in to give a fucking performance that's going to make everybody fucking clap and say, wow, you know, she should be nominated for awards. She's not a great actress. She's not. She is sex appeal. And I understand, whereas I know everyone has bashed the producers and how they marketed the film. I understand that's the big gripe of the people that, oh, we're part of this cult, and fuck the people that produced it and fuck the people that did that. What were they supposed to do? You had this woman coming off Transformers where she leaned over a fucking car, her yits popped out of the fucking yellow shirt, and every fucking teenage boy in the theater went, holy shit, who is that? And as bad as that Transformer movie was, when I first saw it, I hated the movie, but I was like, wow, that woman was beautiful. The movie is about a woman being sacrificed, killing men by seducing them. How in the fuck were they supposed to market it? What should they have done? I'm asking you, if you're a fan of this movie and you think that the marketing was sexist, how should they have marketed this movie? I really want to know the answer to that question. Should they have marketed it some other way? Should they have marketed it like Juno? Should they have put a fucking baby bump on Megan Fox on the poster and Michael Cera right next to her with his fucking thumb up his ass and his other hand on the infinite playlist of Dick and Dora? Is that what they should have done? Would that have sold more tickets? Because this movie bombed. It didn't even make its money back. Didn't even break even. And now, oh, feminist cult classic, rah, rah. Of all the movies to get behind as a feminist cult, you picked this one? You picked this one? Go watch Ginger Snaps. Go watch. There's a movie in here. There's a movie in the other cup that I'm two movies in this cup that are better feminist horror movies than this one. I don't understand it. It is horribly written. It is horribly directed by Carolyn Kusama, who has done good movies. I like The Invitation. I like some of Carolyn Kusama's movies. This is not good. It's poorly directed. It looks cheap. It looks like it was made for the Sci-Fi Channel to me. It just doesn't look good. I can't fathom this movie. I hate it. I think it is awful. I don't think there's a good thing about it. I really don't. Yeah, there's some kissing between Amanda Seyfried and Megan Fox. Is that worth seeing it? No, not to me. I don't think so. I've even seen better scenes of that in other movies. Like, I don't know. I think that if this is the big cult feminist classic, you're selling feminist cult classics short. I really do believe that. I think that's what angers me most. It's like, this movie was always considered a piece of shit. Where did this become a great movie? Like, I just would love to know that. Like, where, like, why? I would love to know. I think personally, if I had to guess, it seems like biggest gripes is women saying that the men marketing it did some horrible things. And like, okay, they did do some like weird shit. Like, they wanted her to like go on amateur porn sites and like DM people. That's fucking crazy. That's too far. Like that I agree is disgusting to ask of somebody to do. But to advertise the movie with, you know, a good-looking woman with her legs up on the desk and whatever the fuck, I mean, other than ripping off the Student Bodies poster, I mean, I don't see why that's such a bad thing. And it's not like anyone went to go see the movie because of that either. The movie bombed. Nobody saw the movie. It was a fucking bomb. I just think it's a poor horror film. I think the finale in the pool is fucking stupid. I think Amanda Seyfried is very unlikable as a lead. We're supposed to be behind her. I don't like her character. Don't give a shit about her character. She sucked. I don't see any positive here. I don't like this movie. I think it's shit. I really do. I never have, and I fucking never will like this movie. Let's go back to comments. Let's see. I think we were here. I don't want to skip everybody. I think we were here. Yeah. LOL, everyone loved Jennifer's Body when it came out, but it didn't fool me. Straight trash. Well, I'm with you. And no, I'll be honest with you, man. And granted, I know we have an age difference. Like when I was 12 when this movie came out, right? This was same year as fucking Paranormal Captivity. I remember at the bus stop, all the kids, bro, are you ready to see Jennifer's Body? We were all excited. Holy shit, what's going to happen? What's this movie going to be about? There's nothing in it. Like there's an unrated, R-rated cut that's like 5 minutes longer. There's nothing extra. There's no gore. There's no gratuity. There's nothing. It's just a bunch of nonsense, man. Aiden loved it. Okay. Oh, wait, did I miss that comment? Hold on. Okay, here, I'm sorry. I love Jennifer's Body. Okay, I did miss that comment. Sorry. There's been so much tonight. Let's see. I think I have the burned copy of Jennifer's Body on DVD. Nice. Rant on Grande. I just sat there and yelled at the TV. What the fuck? I hate Jennifer's Body. Oh, no. Oh, no. Ginger Snaps, Jennifer's Body are both awesome in my book. That's fine. Hey, no, like, again, this movie has, for whatever reason, found a huge fan base. I'm like, you know what? Golf clap, man. I all the power to you. I don't understand that. Like, to me, and I know Ginger Snaps is a better reviewed movie. That's the movie that deserves musicals and cult classics and stuff. And there, like, again, I said there's a movie or two in here that I think definitely are more deserving of that title. I don't know. I don't really get why. I don't know. Maybe just because of how they promoted it. I think people were so angry. They were like, fuck you. We're going to champion it. I don't know. I really don't know. Jennifer's Body is trash. Megan Fox is eye candy, but when she acts, I feel like the protagonist of Hard Candy instead. Patrick Wilson, yeah. I mean, yeah, she's not a great actress. And like, listen, I'm sure there'd be people who say, "Oh, how dare you knock her as an actress?" Listen, she's not a great actress. She's not. She's just not. I'm sorry. Like, there. Okay, are there beautiful actresses that also um, great at acting? Yeah. Look at Penelope Cruz. Look at Florence Pugh. There's so many beautiful actresses that can also act. I'm not saying that you can't be beautiful and act or whatever. I just don't think Megan Fox is a great actress. How many great movies has she been in? How many great performances has she given? She's kind of a gimmick actress, right? Like why was she April O'Neil? That was a weird casting choice for those Ninja Turtle movies. I don't see anything about April O'Neil about her. April O'Neil. Oh, geez, don't get me started. Love American Mary film better than Jennifer's Body. I would agree with that. I don't think they're anything alike. I mean, Catherine Isabel's the lead of American Mary, who's the lead of Ginger Snaps, which is a movie I think is a lot like Jennifer's Body. But sure, if you want to throw American Mary, I think that's an underrated horror movie. Sure. Love this rant, Ronnie. Thank you, Chris C. I appreciate that. Daddy's Little Girl is disturbing. Okay, still haven't seen Judo, but I like this movie. Well, you might like Judo then. I liked Judo. I did like Judo. I was happy when she won the Oscar. But you can't tell me Diablo Cody didn't overwrite this movie. It's so overwritten. It's just so, oh, he's goth, emo, and paints his fingernails. My dick is bigger than his. Like what? Oh, and maybe I know I've heard people say this, like in the hands of better actors, this dialogue would work. I don't think this dialogue would work with fucking Marlon Brando. I don't think this fucking actor, this dialogue would work. Like I just don't. Let's see, Jade Jinja. This movie has a huge cult following now. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Again, it's another movie I never thought I'd have to put in the overrated. Like, who likes it? Apparently, a lot of people. So yeah. Your kangaroos down, bull. Okay. Salty Eagles pissed off. Yeah, but in this movie, apparently means you're hot. That's what it means in this movie. Adam Brody plays a wicked bad guy and JK with a hook through the trees. Yeah, Mercy was telling me he loves this movie before. He was sending me videos, and I buried Panic in the Disco, and he was like, "We can't be friends anymore, you four-eyed fuck." It was funny. You pulled out your hair, Grande. You're not bald. Oh man, I'm like, it's gonna be nothing left. Megan Fox, a virgin, lies, dirty, filthy lies. Yeah, they're like, oh, her type always talks a big game but never gives it up. I'm like, she's just been talking about how she fucked Chris Pratt. Like, just talking about how Chris Pratt fucked her in the ass. They're like, virgin alert, put her in the truck. Let's sing 8675309 until the fucking sun rises up and we can throw this bitch in the devil's kettle. What? Going to make a 60s film playlist with some great horror. Okay. Did you see Megan Fox in The Expendables 4? Laughably terrible performance. Oh boy, I didn't, but I know Mernsy did. Mernsy was one of like 6 people that went to go see Expendables 4, so I gotta hear what Mernsy says to that if he hasn't answered already. Never watched Jennifer's Body. I can't recommend it, my friend. Although it apparently is garnered a cult, so maybe you'll fall part into the cult too. I do not like Megan Fox anyway. Oh, yes, she's a terrible actress. I think so too. I just do. I know it. Oh, whatever. She's not a good actress. I'd watch Jennifer's Body. As granted, I couldn't even get through Jennifer's Body. I turned it off last night. I got an hour and 16 minutes in and turned it off. I just couldn't. I was like, I fucking can't. I will never watch. Your Next is such a shit movie. That's the most overrated one, I think. Granted, Paranormal Activity is close, and so is Jennifer's Body. They had a musical. If they have a musical, You're Next. You're Next. I don't know if that becomes a musical. Never seen You're Next either. Chris C, man, you're a smarter man than me. I really love Carolyn Kuzma's filmmaking. Okay, in Jennifer's Body, I really like the stylish shots and bright, oversaturated colors throughout. Okay, hey, there you go. All right, I'm cool with that. Thank you for sharing that. Love Abbott Costello Meet Frankenstein with Universal Monsters, Dracula, Wolfman, and Monster, and a cameo with Vincent Price as the Invisible Man at the end. Second highest grossing film of 48. Their last film together. Very cool. Brett, You're Next. Okay, You're Next is good. Oh, Sean, you weren't here for that. Oh, God. That was the worst rant of the night. I hate that fucking movie. But, okay, let's move on from Jennifer's Body into something else. I think we got a good one to talk about here now. Let's see what we got. All right. This is in some ways I wouldn't say feminist, but it's definitely a female horror movie. There's not a lot of males in this. And this is a movie that I have loved since the first time I saw it, and I think deserves more praise. And it's a shame because I actually didn't realize this until show prep. This is this filmmaker's last movie feature length that he's done to this day, and I think that's actually really something else. Unfortunately, because I think this guy has great talent, and I really like all of his movies. And if this was it, I mean, if he never directs another one, Grant, I hope that's not the case. I hope he does direct more feature length movies. But if this is it, what a way to go out. This is from the year 2016. This is the Neon Demon. Yes, the Neon Demon from 2016. Brief plot synopsis. An aspiring model, Jessie, is new to Los Angeles. However, her beauty and youth, which generate intense fascination and jealousy within the fashion industry, may prove themselves sinister. Yes, the Neon Demon. When I first saw this movie, I was speechless when it ended. I mean, I was absolutely like one of the few movies in recent memory that I remember just being like jaw dropped at the end. I was like, wow, wow. Like I remember, I think this was around the time I was working security overnight shifts, and this is a movie I just turned on and watched in the dark and in a fucking building, an abandoned building by myself. And fuck, it did its trick. What a fucking great movie this is. I love this thing from top to bottom, and I think that the direction from Nicholas Winding Refn is just tremendous here. It's really, really tremendous stuff. And I don't know, it's a movie that seemed to polarize people. Now, it's not hated, but it's also not really beloved either. It's a 6.1 on IMDb. I've heard people say they love the movie. I've heard people say it's like one of the most horrible, stupid movies. So I don't know. I think it's underrated. I don't think enough people. You don't hear people talking about it much now, and I think it deserves to be talked about. It basically tells the story of Elle Fanning, who is of course sister of the acclaimed Dakota Fanning, who I guess I could show you here. That's Elle Fanning. It tells the story of her where she is getting into the modeling business, and it basically shows you all of the horrors of that business and what comes with it. The I guess not casting calls, but interviews where some women are let go in the lobby before they can be interviewed, and just because of how they look. And there are some women that are so, you know, I guess, jealous and so envious of Elle Fanning's beauty, natural beauty. They have all these breast enhancements or facial work or lip work or all this work done where Elle Fanning is just completely all natural. And she always kind of raises eyes and opens eyes when she goes to shows. And she's definitely becoming like a big star on the scene. And all these women around her find her so, they're so envious of her natural beauty and talent. And this movie really kind of dives into the horrors of jealousy and the horrors of the modeling world. And I thought that this was really, really something else from the director, Nicholas Winding Refn. And he brings a tremendous style to this movie and wonderful colors, vibrant colors, really interesting visuals where they're doing these runway shows and they're doing these smoke and mirror shows where Elle Fanning is kissing herself in the mirror, and they play with a lot of magentas and a lot of blues and a lot of primary colors that just absolutely immerse you. It's tremendously done. Tremendous film. It really is. And basically you see how bad the jealousy and envy eat these women up around her. There's some interesting conversations where Elle Fanning and one of the other models, they're in a bathroom together. And this one girl, she's done her like modeling for the, lead guy who he wanted to play Dicky Moltisanti in the Sopranos, the terrible Sopranos prequel. I can't think of his damn name off the top of my head. It wasn't Desmond Harrington. It was I forget his damn name. So forgive me, I forget his name. But it's that actor, and they go to like strut for him, do their walk for him, and he won't even look at them because they're fake. Some of them have the fake this, the fake eyes, whatever the fuck. They're fake. And then of course when Elle Fanning comes, that's all he can watch. He's so into it. And they have this great scene where Elle Fanning is in the bathroom. One of the girls he wouldn't even look at. He wouldn't even bother to move his head for her. And she asks her, she says, well, how does it feel to walk into a room and all of a sudden you're the attention of everybody? All of a sudden you're the light that brights the room up. And at first, Elle Fanning is very, oh, no, let's not talk about that. And she goes, shut up. I want to know how it feels. And Elle Fanning gives this great line, it's everything. And I think that line, that honesty, makes these women around her even more envious. And of course, Jenna Malone is her sort of too close for comfort friend who kind of is attracted to Elle in the movie, and there's something going on there, although Elle has never been with anyone, and I guess Jenna Malone is trying to kind of get her way into Elle's pants. Very interesting. There is a really good scene where they're all at a like restaurant and they're all talking about beauty. And Elle's boyfriend is defending her, saying, I love her for what's on the inside. And the runway guy's like, that's bullshit, and you know it. He's like, if you really, he's like, you really loved her for what was on the inside, you would never stop to look if she didn't look the way she looks, which is an interesting point. I do think he has a point there. And I do think there's even some horror to be found in that. And to me, the whole point of this movie, the whole message of this business is so cutthroat, is so dog eat dog, is so vicious and cruel and mean that they will literally eat you up and shit and spit you out, shit you out, and chew you out. And what do I mean by that? Spoilers, everybody. By the end of this film, their envy of this character, they lead to kill her. They kill her in the deep end of a pool, murder her in cold blood, and then decide to eat her and bathe in her blood in order to try to soak in her natural beauty. And in order, hey, if I eat her, I'll become a natural beauty of myself. And you see these women as they go from envious to guilty as this happens. And man, the ending scene in this movie made me physically sick. I'll never forget the first time I watched it, how sick I got. And upon a rewatch, you bet your ass, I was sick again. I was absolutely dry heaving upon the rewatch of this movie, how gross the ending is. And it's not from a gratuity standpoint, it's from an idealistic standpoint of how this idea is just so fucking crazy of eating someone in order to try to get their natural beauty. Like, whoa, like that's some dark fucking shit, man. And it works on every single level. I really like the Neon Demon. I think it's a masterpiece. I really do. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say in the chat here. Let's go. I think we were okay. We got to the emergency. Spindles 4, baby. Pretty bad, but Dolph and Statham kept me smiling. Okay, cool enough. My throat is gone right now, so I got to drink some water. I'm sorry. Excuse the dead air. Oh man, my voice has had it tonight. Jesus Christ. Neon Demon is a masterpiece. I agree. The Neon Demon is okay. There's three of us think it's a fucking masterpiece. I'm glad I'm not alone. Are there witches? Are they witches? Is the question. What do you mean? You're saying you think the women in this might be witches? Is that what you're saying? That I never got that vibe. I mean, maybe like a cult vibe. I think they definitely insinuate that with Jenna Malone's character. But like I saw it more as just the straight up horror of envy with the two models. Whereas with Jenna Malone, I think Jenna Malone's a fucking creepy cat in this. I mean, there's some, and if, whatever the fuck you think of Terrifier 2 and the gratuitous kills in that, this movie's pretty crazy in its gratuity as well. I mean, there's necrophilia in this movie. There's fucking murder. There's cannibalism. There's bathing in blood. There's fucking rape. There's like everything. Oh my God, this movie is pretty fucking disturbing, man. It really is. It's a disturbing watch for sure. Amazon Prime members, you can watch it in 4K. It looks great. Neon Demon had some legit what the fuck moments that really is unpredictable to see. I agree. I thought this was a big surprise because this was from, of course, Nicholas Winding Refn, who I really like as a filmmaker. He had directed Drive. That's to this day like his biggest movie, his movie that got the most critical acclaim. And I really like the guy, but I know that when I saw that movie, I didn't think they would go to the extreme lengths that they go to in this movie. And man, I was so happy to be surprised. Be back in a few minutes. Okie doke. I wouldn't call Neon Demon a masterpiece, but it's definitely something different for horror fans, and I like it a lot. I would agree with that too. I think I like it a lot too. Been meaning to watch it, but seems to be one that I need to be in the right mood for. Yeah, this movie is not for everybody. Like I right off the bat, if you don't like artsy, like if like art horror doesn't vibe with you, you will hate this. Like there was no like you have to be a certain type of film fan to like this movie. I don't think an average moviegoer would like this at all. I think it's just too much. Like it's a real fucking trip, but in my opinion, in a good way. Like I think this is a really good psychological, you know, look at the fucked up world of modeling. I really do. Like and like I don't know. To me, feminist cult classics. Come on, please. This is a good one. I don't know. It's just me. I don't know. I have not seen it. Would you recommend it? I would. Oh, well, you're asking Sean. Okay, I would. Just saying. Yeah, Sean, it's a Neo Giallo to me. It's a fever dream trip. Love it. What did you do to her? I ate her. Yeah, no. And oh my God, when she spits up her eyeball, holy shit. And the other girl, get her out of me. I want her out of me. And she's cutting herself with the scissors. Oh my God. I was freaking the fuck out when I'm glad I didn't see this in the theater because I think I would have fucking left. Like, I remember I was watching this at like all hours doing an overnight shift in the security, and I was like in an abandoned building, like looking around like this. I was like, fuck, like this, and literally like dry heaving, man, like effective. Jennifer's Body was filmed in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and I'll be making the trip this summertime. Anyone else going? Very cool, Mr. Scream 7. Very cool. Grande, you're next on Mernzi's ex-friends list for liking Jennifer's Body. No, I think I'm on Mernzi's ex-friends list for burying Panic at the Disco. Because I sent them, I was making fun of Panic at the Disco, and then he fucking sends me back. He's singing a song up there. He's like, we can't be friends anymore, eh? I was like, I fucking love Mernzi. Yes, I would recommend Neon Demon to everyone. Cool. Nicholas Winding Refn is an awesome filmmaker. I love Drive, Only God Forgives, Bronson's awesome, Valhalla Rising's awesome. Pusher Trilogy I haven't seen, so I'll have to take a look. Mateo throws a thumbs up. Yeah, I'd be so curious to see what you think, Mateo. It would be really. I don't know if this one's free anywhere. I know that if you have Prime, it's 4K you can watch because it's a Amazon movie. Really good though. Really recommend. Oh, nice, Chris. That quote is unexpected. I wouldn't call the Neon Demon a masterpiece though, Mateo. Okay, she's 16 in this. I believe she's 16 when it started filming, and she was like 18 when it was released. So you do not see her naked in this because obviously she wasn't old enough. Granted, I guess this might be unpopular. I don't really find Elle Fanning that attractive. Like the whole movie, they're like, what a beautiful lady, what a beautiful lady. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority of that. I don't really find her that attractive. I think she's a little bit older than me, I think. No, she'd be a little bit younger than me, I think. Right? Like, hold on, let me see. How old is fucking Elle Fanning? Is Elle Fanning younger than me? I know Dakota Fanning's older than me. Let's see. Elle Fanning is a year older than me, a year younger than me. Okay. So she would have been 18 when they were making this movie. So yeah, she was 18 when they made this movie. Or maybe 16 when they shot, 18 when it came out. So that makes sense. So yeah, she's a year younger. I think Hamilton Book still has Neon Demon Blu-ray on their site for cheap. Okay, there you go. They changed her age to 18. What? Yeah, that's right. They in the movie they tell everyone you're 19. 18's too spot on. I was like, man, I bet you that shit people actually get told. Like, I would love to actually watch this movie with a model, not other than just watch it being like, hey, I'm watching a movie with a model, but like, I would love to know if any of this is very accurate versus inaccurate. Because like, I don't know, I'd be very curious. Because like, if anything like this is how the modeling world is, shit, like, oh my God, somewhere around that age. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, Sean, that's how I bought it. Okay. I enjoy Nicholas Winding Refn's 2 TV shows. Too Old to Die. Okay, absolutely. Yeah, no, I haven't seen those, but I should. Keanu Reeves, that's right. He has a weird cameo. It doesn't really have much to do. He's just kind of like this creepy landlord guy. That's kind of it. Like I was kind of always baffled why he's in the movie. Like it's like, hey, it's Keanu, but it's not really. There's nothing for him to do really. LO me too, Chris. I meant too old to die young, not too old to die you. That's all good. Reeves is a shady mofo in that, Sean. You can't piss him off in that movie, and don't let a tiger go into the hotel rooms. That's right. Her character is pretty shady too. We never know who she really was. Yeah, no, and like I get the sense too where she was leading Jenna Malone on a little bit. And then when Jenna Malone finds out, it's like the end of Jenna Malone's world. She's like, what? Like, and then when they fucking attack her, how spontaneous that is, you're like, holy shit. Like, I thought this movie was shocking. Like, I thought this was really good, shocking horror. And it's funny, you would think with cannibalism and all this stuff, it went too far. I think it was like perfectly stretched for me. What did you think of the tattoos towards the end? She was covered in them by the pool. I don't know. I think maybe they were insinuating that Jenna Malone was like some sort of a part of an occult. Who knows? Maybe she was a part of the cult following of Jennifer's body. Who know? I don't know. I have no idea. Like that stuff is never said. It's very much more insinuated. So it is what it is. I couldn't tell you. My guess is she's part of some necrophilic cult, but again, couldn't tell you. You sold me on it. Oh, cool. Yeah, let me know what you think, Ginger Ninja. Hey, Ginger is here. Definitely recommend Neon Demon, bro. L Masterpiece smoked out of my crackhead pipe. Good double feature with My Last Night in Soho. That's a good fucking, yeah, it would absolutely. My Last Night in Soho is a lot more, it's not PG, but it's a lot more G-rated than the Neon. Like, Last Night in Soho is a very classy fucking film. Like Neon Demon is fucking crazy. Like it should be NC-17, even though there's really not much nudity in it. It's just everything else and it's crazy. The way Neon Demon escalates is very similar to, and I know that in an interview he said that this was like his, like he was trying to capture what that movie captures, and no movie could capture that, but it's a good movie. I really like the Neon Demon. I highly recommend it for anyone who has not seen it. I think it's a damn good one, so highly recommend. So we got one left of each. We're at 2.5 hours plus, so we're going to try to go a little bit faster here. What is the last movie in the fucking bag of fuck here? Oh, okay. And, I guess we're not going to end on a giant rant, although I do think this movie's a piece of shit. So this is a movie that I remember when it came out, it was a lot of hype around it, and everybody was like, oh my God, you gotta fucking see this. It's the next best Christmas horror movie. And I was like, dude, I'm not fucking interested, because it was like, if I remember when people told me about Krampus, which I thought Krampus sucked, but this I thought sucked even worse. And I thought this was even bigger waste of time. And for some reason, a lot of people consider this to be a great fucking, Christmas horror movie or horror movie in general. And I don't really get why. This is from the year 2016. This is Better Watch Out. Yes, Better Watch Out from 2016. Brief plot synopsis. On a quiet suburban street, a babysitter must defend a 12-year-old boy from intruders, only to discover it's far from a normal home invasion. Another piece of shit home invasion movie where the people in the house are in on it again. Wow. I guess, before I flipped out about You're Next. A lot of that stuff applies here. Stupid characters, bad acting. I hate the girl the lead. Oh my God, what an unlikable fucking bitch. Olivia DeJonge as the lead in this, who went on to play Priscilla fucking Presley in the Elvis movie, which sucked. I hated the Elvis movie. I loved Priscilla. Sophia Coppola's Priscilla is the movie to watch if you're an Elvis fan. And I know, granted, people, it didn't paint him in a good light. Well, it was from Priscilla. I mean, she wrote the fucking movie. So if that's not accurate, I don't know whatever's going to be. And plus, Kaylee Spaney was much better as Priscilla than this bitch was. I hate this. I think this sucks. Everything about it. It's basically a Home Alone horror movie ripoff where babysitter babysits boy, boy is attracted to babysitter, boy stages a break-in of home invasion, thinks, oh, if I protect girl, girl will fall in love with me. Boy is too young for girl, girl denies boy, boy reveals that he was behind the fucking invasion and is creepy and throws a paint can on somebody's fucking face. And they shoot a bow and arrow in this at people too. it's just so shitty. Like, why is it? Why do people love this? Why is this considered a great like horror movie? Like, I have no idea why people liked this at all. I just am baffled. I don't think it was particularly well directed by Chris Peckover, which that's a fucking unfortunate name. He's a fucking peckerhead for directing this shit. Mateo, ciao, my friend. Sorry, this show went a little bit long. There's only one left in the underrated, but thank you. You're here for 2.5 hours plus. Thank you, my friend. Good night. Rock on. Yeah, Cinephile, but more like better go to sleep. Exactly. Mateo's like, yep. But yeah, no, it is. It's boring. It's not fucking entertaining. The kills in it are like, oh, what if they died in Home Alone? That's all the kills in the movie. You have a nerdy fucking friend who's like, I don't think we should be doing this. Oh, fuck it, I'll do it, and then dies anyway. You have Virginia Madsen in this in like a brief role, maybe 3 minutes, where she's, oh, I love my son. She comes back at the end, oh, you poor thing. And the final girl lived, and you're going to find out that this kid's probably going to go to jail for life. Overrated. I don't understand why people like this. I don't understand why it's a 6.6 on IMDb. Why people say it's the next best Christmas horror movie when there are movies like The Lodge that are way better than this. I don't know. P2 is way better than this. And both of those movies don't have a higher rating as fucking Better Watch Out does. So I don't know. I think it's a bunch of blasphemy. We can largely, because I see people starting to check out. I apologize for going too long tonight. But let me see what the comments have to say. I'd watch Anna after watching Neon Demon. Anna, okay. I heard Anna is very good. Is that the one about a spy? I've never heard of this. I have this on my Tubi watch list. I would avoid it, but apparently most people liked it. I'm glad. I'm very shocked that Sean doesn't, and I'm glad Sean doesn't. Krampus sucked so badly he ended up in the Santa Claus seat. Yeah, it sucked. I hate that movie. Gotta go to bed. I'll catch the end. Mateo, absolutely, man. Thank you for watching as long as you did. Night, Mateo. Take care, Mateo. Better Watch Out is just Scream 4 and Xmas. Okay, that's an interesting take. I would watch Scream 4 over this. Wicked Show, Grana, got to catch some Z's. Night Graveyard, cheers. Merdsy, thank you so much for watching. And I'm sorry about Panic at the Disco. We can still be friends in my book, as long as you'll accept me. I gave it a watch 2 years ago and spent more time looking at my phone, and it just kept pissing me off. Dude, that's very similar. It's like a piss off movie. It's like, fuck, like, it just doesn't work. It really doesn't work. LO, that would make sense, Jinja. I did not like this one bit on first watch. I have watched it a couple more times, and for some reason I can't explain, but I feel like it's slightly better on a rewatch. I actually didn't. This is the one of the ones I did not rewatch for the show. I just don't think I'll ever rewatch this again. I thought it sucked. I don't like Better Watch Out. Moving on into bigger and better things. The last movie of the evening, the last movie out of the cup, ladies and gents. This is the one. And of course, again, I might have people tune out, so sorry about that. But I do have the physical media of this one here, the last of the underrated bin here, and then we'll call it a night because I know we went a little bit long on this show. So it is what it is. This is from the year 2006, directed by Lucky McKee, who I'm just a huge fan of, and I think this is, of all his movies, his most underappreciated and most under-talked about. And again, another good feminist horror movie from 2006. This is The Woods. Yes, The Woods. Set in 1965 New England, a troubled girl encounters mysterious happenings in the woods surrounding an isolated girls' school that she was sent to by her disinterested parents. I don't understand why this movie didn't really garner an audience. Like, it kind of baffles me. It does have Bruce Campbell in the movie. He's not in it for a lot, but it is always cool to see Bruce Campbell. I always love Bruce Campbell. Agnes Bruckner plays a great final girl in this. Patricia Clarkson plays a great villain. I think she's a great, great character actress, Patricia Clarkson. I love her in the Carrie remake, and I really like her in this movie. I think she's great in this. You have Rachel Nichols as like the school bully in the film, who's beautiful lady. This is right before P2 had come out, so she does those two movies, and I really like both of them. And it basically tells the story of Agnes Bruckner's character. She gets sent to an all-girls school where she at first is dealing with the horrors of bullying by all these mean people, and slowly but surely starts to realize that maybe, just maybe, the people running this school are not what they seem to be. And you get the idea that they might be a coven of witches. And I know a lot of people probably, well, that's a ripoff of Suspiria. What the fuck? Why would you like that? I like it because of this. While that plot does sound reminiscent of Suspiria, I don't think it's a straight ripoff as more as it is a spiritual type of movie that is trying to be a spiritual successor. Granted, successing Suspiria is impossible. But I think it's a damn good movie. I really like the film from top to bottom. I think Lucky McKee directs it so well. I just really like his direction. And of course, Lucky McKee was coming off May and was coming off the Masters of Horror episode where he took the place of, I forget if it was Romero or he took somebody's place that couldn't do it. It was Roger Corman. Roger Corman was the guy. He took Roger Corman's spot on that show. And he had done that. And then this was shelved for a long time and then finally given like a very small theatrical release. The movie didn't do anything. The movie didn't do any home video sales. And the movie just kind of came and went like a fart in church. And I think that some reevaluation needs to be done here. I think this is a really good atmospheric woods horror movie. And I think all the actors involved do really good job. Agnes Bruckner especially steals this movie. I think she's just tremendous. And she's like the queen of B-level horror. She's in Venom. She's in Kill Theory. She's in Love and Blood. She's in The Woods. She's just done so many B-level horror. She's like a B horror queen in my eye. I think she's a scream queen. Although some people probably like, who the fuck is Agnes Bruckner? So, I mean, it is what it is. She's great in this, though, as this girl who, you know, is definitely like an outcast when she comes in and she listens to Leslie Gore music, which almost the entire movie has a soundtrack of, you know, the Leslie Gore music, which I think is cool. Like, not It's My Party, but it's like, they say, don't cry, don't let me cry, baby. That song. You don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys. You have a lot of the Leslie Gore music, and they somehow worked that into the score, which I thought was interesting. Like you'll have that music, and then you'll have ooh, like you almost have like the woods are singing along with the music. I thought that was creepy. I was like, wow, that works. That works on it. Like it creeped me out a little bit. I thought that really worked. The only negative, you do have some shoddy CGI, but it's sparingly used to the point where I don't think it really hurts the film all that much. And I thought it created a good atmosphere, a good mystery, a good who can you trust, who can't you trust, who seems guilty may just be innocent, who seems evil may just be good. And I thought that stuff was interesting. I thought the whole finale where Bruce Campbell's kind of brought into it a little bit more. I was like, whoa, this is kind of cool. There's some axe fighting. There's some people getting chopped up. There's, you know, some heroic moments. And I don't know. I thought overall this was a really good watch. I really liked The Woods. And this is one I watch either every October, if not for some reason, this movie works for me in like Thanksgiving time. I don't know why, but I watch this around Thanksgiving every year. And if not, I watch it in October. And this is funny. This is one where I got from a Hollywood Video where it still has the label on it, where WO for horror, which I guess horror, WOHOR, horror. There are no horrors in this movie like there are in fucking Jennifer's Booty or whatever the fuck. But I don't know. I really like this. I think this is a really good one, a really one worth watching. And I think this is underrated. I just really, really enjoy this movie. I've talked about it once years ago when I did a Lucky McKee. It was like one of the first episodes of Granny's Graveyard. So when I was looking through underrated ones, I was like, this is one I really would like to shine light on again. Because that was around the time where I did Granny's Graveyard and I think 3 people were watching, you know. Aiden was one of them. I know Aiden was there almost from the beginning. But yeah, this is a movie that I think is severely underrated. The Woman gets its praise. May gets its praise. The Woods has always been the one that was lost in the shuffle, and I don't understand why. I think it's right up there with his other works as being a really, really damn good movie. And I don't know, overall to me, you want a good atmospheric witch horror film with some feminism in there and some really good songs and some really entertaining sequences and good characters. Look no further than The Woods. This should be free to watch in places. I have this DVD that I really would like to upgrade to Blu-ray. I mean, the old school DVD. I don't know. It's funny actually. Paranormal Activity is DVD as well. But let's see what you guys have to say about this, and then we'll call it a night because we've been going for a while here. This has been a marathon, if you will. I only think there's been like 3 episodes ever to get to 3 hours. And if I really went in depth on the last 2, it would have easily been past 3 hours. But I think people are like checking out, so I feel bad. Where the hell was I? I think we were here. I did not like this one first bit. Oh no, I'm sorry. I did read that. I will not watch it then, Jason. LOL. Since I think Scream is overrated. Okay. I just got the Lucky McKee Masters of Horror episode on DVD. It's one of the rare episodes I haven't seen yet. Man, it's a treat. It's a real treat. Now, it's nothing like anything else he ever really did. It's very body horror. And what I thought was interesting about Lucky is he could get a great performance out of anyone. And like Angela Bettis, to me, the performance in May is like one of the best performances ever. I think I had it at number 3 on my all-time favorite performances from a female in a horror movie. Angela Bettis' May was number 3 or 4. I forget. But it's one of the greats, and she's great in that movie. And just like Agnes Bunker here. Agnes Bunker is great. Now it's a different character. It's more of a heroic character. Again, we did a heroic female character that does have a kryptonite, is fucking selling a little bit. You know, that's all I ask. But that episode is really interesting because it stars Aaron Brown, who actually in real life, I guess not in real life, in most other movies was known as Misty Monday. I know people probably at that time remember Misty Monday was like a huge softcore porn icon. Granted, way before my time. That was when they saw porn in black and white for me. But she gives a great fucking performance in that. Like, I was like, you got a fucking A+ performance out of someone who had only done softcore porn. And he somehow got a great performance out of her, where her and Angela Bettis in that just steal that fucking thing. And it is a little goofy. It is a little body horror. It is a little Henenlotter. And even Corman, I think that's a big reason why I probably wanted Roger Corman. I think it's a good episode, though. So please let me know what you think about when you do get to it, because I really like Sick Girl. Yeah, you aren't missing much, Chris, but you never know. It might hit differently for you. I found it dull as dirt. I'm in the same boat. And I'm actually surprised because most people love that movie. So I'm glad Sean and me are in the same boat there. Hello, Christy, the slasher dude. Since you think the first film in my franchise is overrated, what's your favorite scary movie? Uh-oh. Let's see. Lucky McKee is underrated. Yeah, I like a lot of his works, but I really love The Woman, May, The Woods, and Sick Girl. That's his best movies. All Cheerleaders Die is fun. And his recent stuff, it's okay. I don't know. He's one of those guys, the beginning of his career was so much more interesting than what he's done lately. But a really nice guy. I've talked to him before. He's a very nice guy. Is May good? I think May's great. For my money, May of that year, 2002, I think that's the best horror movie that came out that year. I think May it's a classic. For me, another fucking horror movie with a better, I don't know, you could throw a rock and you better female horror movie than Jennifer's Body. Not the first Scream films, and have not seen the fourth, meaning the new ones. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, the 5 and 6 I agree with you wholeheartedly. Those movies suck. May is definitely worth your time. Yeah, it is. It's a great movie. James Abernethy, yeah, long show, but great show. Stayed away for the show, but haven't had much to say. We'll comment in the morning. Great show. James, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Because if we're going 3 hours on here, I can't imagine what time it is at your time. So thank you, sir. Thanks, NFL Sanity. No problem, bro. And my fave slasher is Friday the 13th, of course. The original, I love that movie too. There's few horror movies that have, for some reason, aged worse than that one. Like, so many people don't like the original Friday the 13th now, and I don't get why. I think the original Friday the 13th is a fucking classic. Like, I know for some reason that movie just aged like shit for people. Like, they're like, oh, it doesn't work. Where's Jason? It's fucking dull. I'm like, dude, that movie of all of them is like the only one that felt sort of like a grindhouse exploitation drive-in movie with giallo elements and fucking a really interesting like spiel at the end. Jason should have been watched every minute. He wasn't a very good swimmer. It's all for Betsy at the end, man. I think it's a great movie. I don't know. I just never. That's another movie I think just for some reason just doesn't hit the same for people anymore. That's one that just has not aged well over time. It's aged like milk for people, and I don't know. I don't see that. I think Friday the 13th is still a great movie, and I'll stand by that. The first Scream is as far as I can go with that franchise. There's a lot of people like that. I think the first three are fine. The second one is the second one I don't like as much as the first and the third one, and the fourth one I don't mind. But the last two are so bad. It's not even. I literally would never watch another one. The Woods is something I need to see again and don't remember much from it, and I don't own it. I would recommend it, man. I know, yeah, it seems to be a forgotten movie. Like I don't know why, but like it really like even the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, like really opened my eyes. I really liked it. The Woods is on Tubi. Cool. There you go. Haven't seen this one either. Giving me some potential first-time watches, Grande. I'll be curious to hear what you say, Miss C. Definitely curious to hear what you say. Slash the like, everyone. Chris C., thank you so much. I appreciate that. Only on the Graveyard 2CPs. Yeah, that's my outro. Cooper Glover's got it down pat. Friday the 13th is almost perfect as a slasher film. I think it is perfect for me. I love the movie. Juno Ends is the best franchise. Oh, no. Texas, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Haha, Tex. Love this, and I don't mind Graveyard going late up all night with the Graveyard. Yeah, this is the longest show I've done in a while. I don't know if we've done a 3-hour show in a while, but it's close. It's about 5 minutes short, so it is what it is. But yeah, no, thank you, Missy. I appreciate that. Grande, have you seen Crystal Lake Memories? I haven't seen it. That's my last comment for the night. I loved Crystal Lake Memories, probably my favorite horror documentary of all time, because that's my favorite franchise. I love Friday the 13th. I do. I can get any enjoyment out of any of the first 8 of those movies. So I really enjoy that memory a lot. That's for me. Crystal Lake Memories a lot. This is so good, John. Thank you. Thank you so much. I have the book. Oh, the Peter Brackey book that's as big as a coffee table. I had that. But I sold it or something like that, or I gave it to somebody who was a fan. I forget what happened with that because I figured when the documentary came out, fuck it, but that's a big regret for me. But yes, ladies and gents, that has been underrated versus overrated horror movies. And yes, we're going to put them all in the trash because I guess we got to throw something out. But if you guys are catching the replay of this, please comment and let me know on the underrated ones that you agree with, maybe overrated ones you disagree with, and let me know for sure if you guys think that there are underrated ones that I didn't miss or I did miss or didn't mention, ones that you feel underrated. I know Slasher Fred was all night mentioning ones that he felt were underrated that don't get enough praise. So I'm all ears. I would like to do one of these a year. So I'll try to do one again at some point because I really like this. And it seems like the chat really likes these shows. So I will try to do another one in the near future. Next week, we'll be doing an exorcism special. We got 3 awesome exorcism movies to review. One of them voted in by you guys. So everybody, thank you so much. F-13 is my all-time fave horror franchise as well. Defend the 1980s. Fuck yeah, rock on, brother. Great shit, Grande. Thank you, Chris C. Have a safe weekend. Buenas noches. Adios. Sayonara. Only. All right, guys. Well, it's been a long show. I'm going to get some Z's, and you can catch us next time. Only on the Graveyard. 2 Sweet Peace, and we'll catch you next time. Good night, everybody.